There's no time.
The time is
13
o'clock.
Hey everybody, it's Friday. What every single thing I do he laughs at me.
Hey!
I don't know.
It's like you saying hi to the damn cat out there on the back porch.
Well, you know, I love everybody
yeah,
just like I love Pookie.
All right, yeah, today it's going to be a fun show because we're talking about the Raëlians.
The Raëlians?
The Raëlians.
There's an umlaut in that shit.
It's kind of like going to see the Lazarium. Remember the South Park? Lazarium. Yeah.
I feel like the word Lazarium should also have an umlaut.
Yeah, Lazarium.
Actually, maybe 2 or 3 umlauts.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Back when lasers were high tech.
Man, I remember going to see the... Thank you, Nicodemus.
What'd he say?
Nothing. It was just like a little... You gave us a really nice super chat, and there's a little... I love all the little dancing little...
Chat. Yeah.
Thank you very much. What is that little thing? It's like a little... I can't tell.
What's funny is that you got that. Okay, now I see it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have to like reload my super chats.
Yeah, you say that every single time.
Yeah, they stick.
Yeah, see, DJ Maniac said you need to oil it.
You need to oil it.
Oil can.
Yeah.
If there's an umlaut, you know it's fucking metal. That's right.
Yeah.
So I guess that's why the Raëlians have the umlaut. Well, that's the dude's name that found it. It's not his real name. That's the name that the aliens gave him, and that's his story. And he's sticking to it. Well, I was telling him I was like, as much as I love doing like the true crime shows and shit like that,
getting more money too.
It's kind of nice to do shows about. Thank you, David. Woo! The show begins. Yeah, that's right. It's Friday, y'all. It's kind of nice to do shows about stuff that's not soul crushing. Yeah. So then that way I don't feel so bad about like making jokes and stuff. Because I mean, as what?
They're saying we look great just because I fucking shaved your head.
I finally, because remember I shaved part of it, but then like I left this here, and then like last night I was like, you know what, fuck it. It's just I thought it looked too messy. So I was just kind of like, I can't do anything with that. So cause I've just kept tucking it behind my ear. So I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna shave it all off.
I gotta get in the proper launch position.
Proper
launch position. I'm piloting the spacecraft. Okay.
He's piloting
the spacecraft.
He's got my. Don't pull that out too far.
It won't come out, will it? Yeah, it doesn't come out.
I don't know. I've never pulled it out that far, so it's like I wouldn't want everything falling onto the floor. Me finding out. Tila says, I'm tired as hell, but I'm going to hang in there as long as I can.
We're tired too, T.
Me too. Whatever reason, I woke up at fucking 5:45 this morning and could not go back to sleep to save my fucking life. So, you know. And right like 10 minutes before we did the show, we realized that we didn't have all that much booze left. I mean, we have some, but not as much as usual. But I was like, well, that's okay, because if I had too much booze, I'd probably just like fall asleep.
So this should be a fun show. It's good to see everybody back. You weren't with us last time, T. You were slacking.
She was traveling.
She was slacking. It's good, though. It's good to have the regulars back.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
David June says, I'll steal Jenny from Tom one of these days. She's got to experience a real man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think it's fucking funny.
Ooh.
I think it's funny when you boys...
It's a throwdown. It's a throwdown.
Nah, it's going to be a dick down. We're going to see who's got the biggest dick.
Whack, whack.
Whoever's more well endowed gets to hit the other. It's going to be like something out of a maximum security prison. I just like it how y'all try to man up on me like that. It's fucking great. Just want it to be known that none of y'all could ever be a man next to me. You stand next to me, it doesn't even look like two men. It's like man and woman. If I get some of that, it's not even gay. All right, it's straight up heterosexual. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I don't even have to be guilty. So man, it wasn't even like I was gay that night.
Again, that's his story, and he's sticking to it.
It's relativity. It's sexual relativity. See, man, you motherfuckers are already starting me off this fucking early and shit. Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. Changing my head already.
Well, I feel like
I'm gonna put fucking wig on.
Well, since we're talking about the Raëlians, whatever they are. Since we're talking about them, I feel like the sexual tyrannosaur hat, at least at this juncture, is probably is probably apropos, because that's kind of one of the main things that people know about this cult, religion, whatever you want to call it, is the whole free love thing. Yeah. Although, I mean, you know, there's a lot more to them. There's, you know, they believe in aliens too. Honestly, I gotta say, the more I looked into these people, like, they're weirdos for sure, but they don't seem to be dangerous weirdos. I could be wrong about that. They have some, like, weird ass beliefs, but a lot of their beliefs I'm just kind of like, okay, that's cool. I can agree with that. Yeah. So it's like, I don't know. I just kind of feel like there doesn't seem to be, like, a lot of nefarious shit going around. It's not like Scientology where they're, like, locking people in holes and having people murdered allegedly and shit like that. Not that I know of. I mean, you know, that might be going on behind the
Zachary
scenes.
shows up. Oh, if it's a dick down, I'm up for that.
Yeah,
fucking all the gays. Here
did
come all
someone
the gays.
say dick down?
They're all waiting for the dick down. Yeah, fucking right. And then Tila's in there fucking talking to me specifically. Stop calling me out. You make me sick. Yeah.
Mango said, "Is it my eyesight or is the camera out of focus?" It's doesn't look out of focus on my end, so it must be just you. You're going blind.
Yeah.
It happens to it happens to the best of us. Yeah, it's like, how drunk are you already?
Yeah. Now David says that we're gonna share. We're gonna share. Then Oscar says Tom and Jim would be an ideal aunt and uncle. I would be a cool uncle.
Yeah, you would.
But I don't have any siblings, so I'll never be an uncle unless I married into a family.
Well, yeah, I got siblings. I got 3 of them. And one of them already has a bunch of kids. Well, not a bunch of kids.
Yeah. Okay, now Zach's in here fucking showing off. He goes, Tom, if it says anything, I once banged a black dude once, and even he said I was big.
Oh my God.
You mean deep, right? Big hole, right?
Roger Dodger said, "Can we start the measuring contest at -3 inches? Like some people need like a handicap." Like,
you gotta watch out for Zach, man. He's one of them fucking power bottoms. You fucking slap a bitch like that, you go fucking falling on your back like that, and he jumps up in the air and comes down on your ass first. I once saw him do that to a fucking fire hydrant. That's true. He likes him. Yeah, fucking right. Had that fucking swelled up fucking loggerhead on the end of it like that. He likes them in regular shapes.
He lives in a regular
fucking right.
shape.
You didn't know about Zach? Oh, Zach's a booty master. He's a booty master. Fucking hit you like a whole wave of ass, like a tsunami. Like a pig. I can't talk about
tsunami.
it anymore.
Why you get
like an anal tsunami.
Getting too aroused?
Getting too aroused. Getting too aroused.
Tom's Inglorious Bastard says, good name by the way.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah,
what's the topic? We're talking about the Raëlians, the UFO cult. But like I said, because what most people know about them is the free love thing and the aliens thing and also the human cloning thing. So, you know, so all of those topics are you know, that's totally on the table.
Zach's trying to fight back into this twisting mind game of homosexuality where he's trying to convince me that he was a top. You could never be a top. Not when I'm around. Not when I'm walking the earth. You could never be a top.
Not while you're walking the earth.
Not while I'm walking the earth. And then other people are back there saying we need to have a fucking show about Sasquatch. And
you know, I believe we did a cryptids show like a long time ago.
It's about time to do a Sasquatch show.
But I don't think we've done like just a dedicated Bigfoot Sasquatch show.
Right.
Because on the what did we talk about? I think we talked about the Sasquatch and maybe the skunk ape on the cryptid show. But it was like a variety show of cryptids.
See, here's the thing, man. Well, shit. Maybe I'm speaking too soon, but.
When does that ever stop?
I know. I'm fucking get ready to talk out my ass. But out of all the fucking weird shit, out of all the paranormal, years back when I was a kid, I would have thought that Bigfoot would have been the most likely. Until I saw Poltergeist. Not ghost, real Poltergeist. There's a difference. And Poltergeist fucking freaked me. And I would have thought, had you told me about Poltergeist when I was a kid, I wouldn't have believed that. You know what I mean? I would, or actually, no, maybe I would have. If you'd have asked me what was most likely and least likely, I would have put Poltergeist way down at the bottom of the list of being likely. You know?
Yeah, I kind of feel like Sasquatch would be more likely than Poltergeist.
Sasquatch and aliens.
You know, if we're going that way.
Sasquatch and aliens, I would think would be likely. As I've gotten older now, I know a little bit more about ecology and the human mind, and it's less likely that it's a Sasquatch. I mean, they got some badass spy satellites that can see an individual person walking around at night just from the heat, just their heat images. You'd think that they'd pick them up, you know. Well, there's a Sasquatch. You know what I mean? Some person like that.
Well, there he is, right there.
Yeah.
Hey, little guy.
Who's that out in the middle of nowhere out there in fucking Canada? Who is that? That's a goddamn Sasquatch. Zoom in, Carl. Get that on tape. Yeah. You think that they would, but... I mean, because you can see deer through satellites.
True.
So, no, I don't think so. But we'll talk about it later.
Tyler says, fried chicken at 13 o'clock, life is good. Oh, fried chicken, that sounds good.
That's right. Pour some syrup on it. Put some maple syrup on it.
Or honey is good too.
Or honey, yeah. Just now, put maple syrup in a bowl and then just dunk it in there. That's the way a real redneck would do that shit.
Get out the Mrs. Butterworth.
Yeah. Get some melt butter in it. And, no, actually, just put butter on the hot chicken and then dump it.
I like your gesture.
Dunk it. Yeah. Like... I'm imagining it. I'm doing it. I'm soul fucking the food. Sitting there and just like getting some of that Mrs. Butterworth's on there, or you know, maybe real maple syrup and eating it like that. Hell yeah. And then I'm using a waffle as a napkin. See?
And then eating it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gross. Tom's the skunk ape. That was the big joke.
Yeah.
Because his table manners are atrocious, and also he smells.
Yeah. My table manners aren't that bad.
No, I know. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was saying because you like were wiping your mouth with a waffle and then eating it. You know what I mean? But yeah, especially now that you're on testosterone, you're like really like a skunk ape.
Yeah.
Now, you're, like,
Maniac said add some cayenne pepper to that fucking
see now there you go.
To the maple syrup. That sounds good. Cayenne pepper in the maple syrup.
Mm-hmm. See, there you go.
Hell
You
yeah.
didn't even think of that, did you?
That's a good one. Yeah, I'm gonna come up with that.
Victor says maybe Sasquatch are normal people most of the time and changed into Sasquatch, like aware Sasquatch.
Yeah.
Sure, that's a possibility. Well, that would explain why you don't see them, because they're just like regular ass people most of the time, and then like when it's the full moon or whatever, just they just go out, but they don't like eat people or nothing like werewolves, or they just like walk around in the Canadian wilderness and do,
yeah,
and occasionally get filmed by rednecks. All right. So, do we even have any shout outs? I don't think we do, actually. Oh, I will say that I finally made an intro for the Sidetracks show, for Christ's sake. Because remember how for months, every time we do a Sidetrack show on Wednesday, I'm always kind of like, and it's just like, it doesn't have an intro and it feels really weird. I finally did like make a little intro for that. So there we go. And also, I made a little outro for this show with like credits on it, with all the patrons' names and stuff like that. So I thought that was kind of neat. If we get to the end of the show and I'm still sober enough to remember to play it, then, you know, that'll be good.
Camp guy, he came up with something, man. It sounds very interesting. I'm gonna have to do a complete investigation. He's talking about wings, right?
Yeah.
Indian wings with the clean rice vinegar dipping sauce with ginger and sambal. Yeah. I'm gonna look into that. Indian wings. Indian chicken wings. But you see, I'd usually take chicken wings and bump them up to dinosaur wings. You get rid of the chicken wing and then just replace it with a damn drumstick. That's what I call it. And because you can get drumsticks pound for pound cheaper than wings.
Yeah, there's a lot more meat.
There's a lot more meat there. Chicken wings were a marketing fucking genius. You take the worst, least worthwhile piece of the damn chicken to turn it into a delicacy.
Well, yeah.
So I remember there was a time when I was a kid when chicken wings weren't worth anything. It was like buying gizzards, you know, or chicken hearts. They're not worth anything. But
although you love chicken hearts.
I love chicken hearts. Yeah, I could sit and eat a whole bowl of chicken hearts.
Thank you, Esther.
Thank you very much.
Love the show. Thank you very much. Zach asked if we were into the Tomb Raider games.
I like them.
Yeah, Tom likes those.
I haven't played the new ones though.
What was the last one you had? I remember watching you play it sometimes.
Oh, man, you're asking me all this kind of things. It was the one where
Stop asking me questions.
Yeah, stop asking me questions. It starts off, she's in a boat, and then she gets up on land, and then she ends up in the end fucking going underneath the water and finding all these Norse runes. big old Norse statues and she's trying to find, I don't know if it's Excalibur or whatever. And her friend's after her, and she's got turned into a demon. It's pretty good.
Man, I hate when I'm looking for somebody that got turned into a demon.
Yeah, I liked Legend though too.
Yeah.
Yeah, from the from the 2000s, Legend, and then there was a bunch of them.
Thank you, David.
Yeah.
Love the show, but I'm poor. Mm-hmm. That's it happens.
Everybody's poor.
Well, some of the Raëlians, I don't think they're poor.
No.
Well, because like the dude that runs it, like people buy him houses and shit.
Yeah, well, the whole UFO cult is a good angle. You can make a lot of money with that. L. Ron Hubbard, he made Scientology one of the richest cults you could get. Weirdest, richest, strangest cult.
Yeah.
It's a UFO corporation, UFO Mind Control Corporation. And they said that when L. Ron Hubbard was around, they liked him. They liked the cult, but David Miscavige just kind of fucked it up over the years. It's definitely not as fun as it used to be.
Here comes Miscavige. You ruined everything.
Yeah, well, if you could have a UFO cult and keep it fun,
which I kind of feel like the more I know about the Raëlians, I kind of feel like that. Like I said, they have some kind of like weird ass beliefs, but they seem to be having a good time. I don't think anybody's like there against their will or.
Well, you said free love, so there's an incentive right there.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. They seem to be like pretty cool and pretty chill with everybody.
Yeah. You're the cult leader. You're sitting there. You're like, that's right. Send me all your money, and I start fucking. See, who would join that?
Cult of Tom. Send me all your money and start fucking.
Yeah.
There's another shirt.
Because I said so. Yeah.
I have decreed it so.
I have decreed that you all need to get down. Get the fuck down with each other.
Everybody, big pile, right in front of me.
Yeah, I'm fucking dressed up like Moses, proclaiming shit. I got a staff, my rod and my staff. Y'all need to throw down.
Sure.
Yeah, behind me they got I'm on stage and they got a big old fucking fake volcano behind me and fucking smoke and fucking lightning and shit. Like I've been up at the top fucking getting the 10 Commandments. Come back down. Tell them all to get busy.
What's weird is that it only just occurred to me when you said the word volcano.
Yeah.
But it's like how how Scientology has the whole Xenu and the volcano thing. Well, it just occurred to me that the Raëlians, the story that the dude tells about it founding it, was like also happened at a volcano. Yeah. Although he didn't say, he just said that he was at the volcano and then like he saw the aliens. They didn't come out of the.
They're ripping off the Old Testament. They're ripping off Moses.
Yeah.
El Shaddai is a volcano.
Yeah, and like I said, if you like read through like what they believe, they basically believe that the Bible is true as far as it goes, but not in the way that people think it is.
Yeah.
Camp Guy says, I want to send something. Is there a way, like a P.O. box? Just message me later and I'll send you like just our mailing address. That's what we usually do because we don't have a P.O. box. We should probably get one of these days. But
DJ Maniac sent us a super chat. Thank you very much, bro.
Oh, wait, I got to thank you very much, DJ Maniac. Tom Cruise really liked that ship, sure.
Tom Cruise should have gone to space with Bezos. Yeah. Where's Sandra? Sandra hasn't shown up yet.
Oh yeah, we wanted to see what her funny name was today.
Yeah, she's gonna have a funny name.
She always changes her name like every single time we're there.
Yeah.
So, do you want to like get started on this, or do you like have other things that you need to discuss?
Nah, that's
because I can't really think of any new. Like we haven't had any new developments this week. No new patrons. No nothing like that. So
Tila, did you still watching Spartacus? Tila also says that they say Lemurians live inside Mount Shasta.
Lemurians, yeah.
And it's like lemurs.
Yeah, I think I wrote an article about that a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Like all those lost continent type stuff, right? Sandra is busy with mango peanut butter.
Yeah, probably, yeah. Mango peanut butter.
Victor says, get a P.O. box in case you get some stalkers. I'd stalk you, but I work too much.
We're not worried about stalkers. I could take care of hundreds of stalkers. Y'all need to worry about me, okay? I'm not worried about y'all.
And I mean, you know,
Yeah.
I'm not really all that worried about
No.
it either. Because you guys, like, I feel like I know you guys, even though I've never met you guys in person, but I was like, I don't think anybody would be. I mean, you never know, but you never know. You get, like, some weird-ass troll like we had on Wednesday. If you guys missed that, that was super fun. Although I didn't see most of what he said because, like I wouldn't have cared anyway, but I think Zach, like, fucking kept shooting him down. It was just kind of like fucking...
We're talking about cults, I think.
Yeah, you're gonna do your...
I'm gonna have to become Michael Caine.
We're gonna... Okay. So
become
Michael
Michael
Caine's
Caine.
gonna weigh in on
I'm
this...
gonna start off
on
with
this
Michael Caine.
UFO religion situation.
Yeah. Well, I put this one on. Whenever I put this wig on, I actually become more intelligent.
Is that how that works?
Yeah, I've noticed it several times.
Can you
I'll go
explain,
back
like,
and
the
watch a
science
show.
behind that?
No, I don't. I have no idea.
Some kind of
why it does it.
osmosis situation, or...
It's just for some reason I put this one on and I just become fucking smart. Real fucking smart. It's just like a mad scientist wig.
Oh, okay, there you go.
I guess.
I kind of feel like maybe, though, the Mozart/Thomas Jefferson wig would be the go-to for smartness.
Well, it hasn't fucking overtaken me yet.
Okay.
No.
But, well, we only just, like,
That's
started.
a wig. That's a wig of authority, not so much intelligence. And
Yeah, those are two different things.
Yeah, it's two different things. This is a wig of intelligence and insanity.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
Is he fucking you? I told you he was.
Oh my god. David June says, I guarantee if you show up at their door stalking them, Tom and Jenny would invite you in for a drink and booze, then he'd kick your ass.
It'd be the last they see of you.
Tom, you need the hand to go with the
Yeah, I
cane
gotta
away.
get the hand and shit.
Well, it's back there on the bookshelf.
Yeah.
Well, we have a severed hand back
it back
there.
there now?
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there it is. Got a severed hand.
Yeah, it's back there.
Amanda Marie, hey, Tom and Jenny. Tom looking good with the hair. I know, it's
Thank you.
beautiful. Wig becomes antenna. Maybe that's what it is.
I don't know what it is.
It kind of like sticking up. It's like all the filaments are like bringing in all the
Look how
intelligence.
intelligent I look. I look
you're-
fucking smart. Ask T. I look fucking super smart, don't I? I look like a fucking super smart white boy.
This is also kind of relevant because I don't know if you know this, but the Raëlians believe that the world should be run by what do they call it? A geniocracy? Like
A
as
geniocracy,
in,
yeah,
like
yeah.
geniuses.
Yeah, yeah.
Only smart people
rule by-
should run the shit.
Yeah, you see fucking... Oh man, now they're saying that fucking... Esther says I'm Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Yeah, that's probably true.
I think you're all Hyde.
I'm
though.
all Hyde.
You're only like that much Jekyll.
Yeah. Just depends on my mental state at the time.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tom's Inglorious Bastard said you must
When
be
Russell
related
Crowe-
to Shirley Temple.
When Russell Crowe... Jenny was there with me. When Russell Crowe turned into fucking Mr. Hyde, I went along with him on that journey. I was like... Yeah. Yeah, that's right. You know, he started taking me, and she was pulling me back. Pulling me back. But that was near one of my injection times too. He had to take an injection to shut him down.
Yeah.
Me, it's the other way around. I put an injection.
Yeah, then
in
you
to
start
turn me-
like hiding out.
Yeah.
Well, no, I think what it was he started taking the potion to
Yeah.
turn him into Mr. Hyde, and then after a while it started doing it spontaneously.
Is that what it was?
So then
I
it
don't
was
know.
kind of like, yeah.
Well, he had to have that thing in his fucking. Remember, he had that bracelet that
That's right.
fucking injected something to shut him back down, turn him back into Mr. Jekyll. A lot of people didn't like the mummy.
Dr. Jekyll.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't like the mummy.
I did not.
I liked it.
Although I will say that Russell Crowe, I liked the Jekyll and Hyde. They should have made the whole movie about him. That would have been good.
Well, they tried it. Well, the thing, we're getting sidetracked.
No.
Yeah.
What else is
The
new?
whole thing about that movie was that they took those classic silver screen characters and tried to turn it into an action movie that had Tom Cruise in it.
See, that's what I said.
That is fucking ridiculous.
That's a dumb idea.
But I liked it. I liked the attempt. I could watch 3 or 4 of those. I would like.
It's still
It's
a dumb
kind of
idea.
like what was that one with the werewolves? It's kind of like Underworld. Underwear. Kind of like Underwear. No, Underworld. Remember that one?
Yeah, I wasn't crazy about that one either.
But it was along the same lines.
It was all right. I just didn't really remember. It was like that one and like Van Helsing, and it was just kind of like all those 90s and early 2000s. Yeah, I didn't
like Van Helsing.
Like horror action movies. I was just kind of, they all seemed very samey.
And then it was kind of like the League of Gentlemen.
Yeah, like that kind of stuff. It was
almost good, but not really.
That's it. Yeah, see, that's the problem I had with it. It's like, it just seemed like it... I wanted it to be good. Like, sometimes it was like a good concept, but then it's just like they all seemed to like blend together. Now I'm pretty sure that I saw all of them, but I couldn't tell you like what happened in one, and it wasn't like I confused all of them.
I went back and looked at certain scenes from The Mummy and realized that, well, it's all style and no substance. The dialogue is very shallow. It's like I said, it's just a spectacle. There's not much there, story-wise.
Yeah, it's just like dangling a shiny object in front of...
That makes a lot of money, evidently, but I think the crowds are fucking sick of that. I think people have figured that out.
Who is it that calls it that? I can't remember like what site calls movies like that jingly keys. Because like he's like just a shiny object in front of a baby's face.
Tila said, "Tom with the glasses, you remind me of Dr. Frederick Frankenstein in The Young Frankenstein. You just need
it's alive! Alive!
Yeah.
That's what you should do. That would be like super funny. We need Van Helsing versus cryptids. No lie, I'd probably watch that. There's a lot of like really cool cryptids that they really need to make a movie about. You know, instead of like recycling all the same monsters all the time. Just saying. Yeah. So you ready to like talk about...
I'm ready to talk about this.
You ready to talk about aliens?
Yeah.
Well, the first Raëlians. Oh.
Raëlians. Railing against the aliens.
Rage Against the Machine, rail against the aliens.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they should have a band called Rail Against the Aliens that's like a Rage Against the Machine cover band, except they cover all the Rage Against the Machine songs in alien context. Oh my God, somebody do that like right now. Yeah. I'll buy all your albums. So let's talk about the dude. Like I said, I kind of feel like before I started researching this show, the only thing I knew about them was... You know, it was something to do with UFOs. I knew about that cloning thing because I remember that when that was on the news because they said, "Hey, we cloned a baby," which I don't think they did, but whatever. And then the whole like free love thing. Now, as I said, I kind of thought I had the perception that they were kind of like a cult because of I don't know. Like, there's so many cults and I get them all confused. So I'm like, is this the one that had like all the fucking underage brides? Well, you know, there's more than one that had that, but. Like I said, this one seems like it's pretty much okay. I mean, in the sense that any kind of weird religion like that can be okay. They don't seem to be horribly exploitative. They don't seem to be keeping people against their will. They don't seem to be going after underage girls that I know of. There are some controversies and shit like that, but it doesn't seem like anything like really, really bad. You know what I mean? Like most of their beliefs and stuff... I'm kind of like, yeah, okay, that's fine. It's nothing like really horrifying. But I don't know. I thought they were like really interesting nonetheless. So let's talk about the dude that started this whole thing. His name is Claude Vorilhon. Vorilhon? Something like that. It's French. He's French.
French. Oh, shit.
What?
I mean, did I put my French wig on? Oh, shit.
Oh, you should have known. You didn't realize he was French?
I didn't know he's French.
I didn't know he was French. That changes the whole game.
Yeah, it's a whole different dynamic now.
It's too bad you don't have a beret.
Yeah. All right. There you go. Now I'm instantly fucking French. Instantly fucking French.
Sort of?
Hold on, man. I gotta...
Do the accent or something. Can you do like an accent?
When I'm ready.
You could have worn like a stripy shirt and had like a big baguette or something. I don't know.
I can't do a French accent.
I can't either. I'm not even going to attempt.
Yeah, there we go.
I took French for like 4 years. I still remember some of it, but not that much. Yeah, so this dude, I'm just...
Jean-Claude. Jean-Pierre.
Mon Dieu. But yeah, so Claude. So he's born in France, obviously. Now, according to him... I guess he wasn't raised, like, super religious. Like, I guess he grew up in his grandmother's house, and she was an atheist. And then, like, his mom was also an atheist, and his dad was Jewish, but was also, like, not really that much of a believer. Weirdly, though, he got sent to Catholic boarding school, which I don't know if that was just, like, a regular thing that they did, even though he wasn't a Catholic. Maybe it was the only school that was around or whatever. So he did end up going to, like, a Catholic school for a little while. But then when he was about 15 years old, he actually ran away from the boarding school and hitchhiked to Paris. And there he was essentially for 3 years, he was a street musician. So he's kind of like playing around in the street and everything. And he, interestingly, I didn't know this either, he gets discovered by this guy who was the director of like a radio show that like went all around the country. So he's like out looking for, you know, talented people that are playing music in the streets of Paris. And he gives Claude a record contract. And Claude actually had kind of a hit song called Honey and Cinnamon. And like 5 other singles as well that did okay. So he was kind of, I don't think he was like super famous or anything like that, but he was like in the charts and whatnot, which is like crazy. So that's in the early, I guess it was like in the late 60s, early 70s that was. So after that though, like I think the guy that discovered him and was kind of like his mentor, he ended up committing suicide, and that was in 1970. And then after that, Claude decides he's going to get into his second passion, which was like race cars. So he's like super, super into race cars. So what he ended up doing was he started writing for like magazines, started racing cars like around the circuit and whatever. And he started this kind of automotive racing magazine called Autopop and started like writing for it. So I guess that started publishing like in 1971. So that's what he was doing for a couple of years. And then came 1973, late 1973. It was December. So this is how the story goes. And he's written several books. If you want to read them, they're all very, very easy to get, like on the internet. I think you can even read most of them for free. And they have like a huge website, so you can read most of his stuff. But he wrote this book called The Final Message. And he talked about his first contact with the aliens. Okay. So this happened December 1973, like I said. So he claimed that he's hiking around this extinct volcano, right, in some part of France. Now, he kind of hikes around it, and then, like, he's getting ready to leave. Like, he turns around and he's going back to his car. Then he turns around to look at the volcano one last time. And then he sees, allegedly, a flashing red light coming down from the sky. He said at first he thought it was a helicopter, but then he noticed that the light wasn't making any noise. And so it started coming down like kind of toward him. And he said when it was about 60, 65 feet above him, he noticed that it was like a flying saucer shape. You know. Okay. So he described it as, you know, like kind of flattened. He said it was about 23 feet wide and about 8 feet high. And he said that the red light that he had seen at first was on its on the underside of it. And that on the top, there was like a really intense white light. Now, he said that the saucer kept coming down and that when it was about 6 feet above the ground, like a door on the underside opened up and little stairs came out, like unfolded, just like your classic
little stairs,
like 50s little stairs come out. And then like a little person comes out. So this little person, he said was about 4 feet tall. Said he had pale green skin, almond-shaped eyes, and long, dark hair.
Little green man.
Little green man.
Okay.
Yeah, he was a little green man with long black hair, which like your dancing wig.
Yeah.
Which maybe you can go to that later, and then you can predict. You're not ready for that. You're still doing the French thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tila says stairs, no beam. I know, right? It's like it seems like if they were that, because I think that they said they were 25,000 years ahead in technology or something, and it's like you'd think that they'd be over stairs. You could just like hover. I mean, even we have kind of like rudimentary hoverboards, so you'd think that at least they would have those. So we don't have to like walk downstairs anymore, but whatever. So this alien comes down, and introduces himself. Do you know what his name was?
Let me hold on.
You want to guess?
Pierre. Okay. Motherfucker's name is Pierre, right?
Pierre.
Yeah. He's French, right? Pierre. Jean-Claude Pierre.
Jean-Claude Pierre, the alien.
Yeah, Jean-Claude Pierre Francois. Okay, go ahead.
Oh my God. As awesome as that would have been, no.
Yeah, okay.
The alien's name was Yahweh.
Yahweh, okay. All right, I see where we're going.
You see where we're going with this?
God was an alien all along.
Yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it.
Okay.
So Yahweh comes down, this little green Yahweh, and of course he spoke fluent French, which is what Claude spoke, because, well, he could speak all languages because, alien.
Yeah.
So then Claude says that he follows the little alien buddy into the spacecraft, because Yahweh said, hey, it's much more comfortable in here. Was it? I don't know. I don't think he really, described what the inside of the spaceship looked like, because I didn't have time to, read all his books. Mm-hmm. But maybe he did describe it. Maybe it was I don't know. Maybe there was nice sofas and, beanbag chairs or something like that. I don't really know. So they go to the spacecraft, and the first thing, and I love this so much because this is Claude in his book kind of cutting off all criticisms at the root, before you even get into it. He says that the first thing the alien said to him, other than, hey, my name's Yahweh, I'm an alien, obviously, was, you regret not having brought your camera so that you could have talked about our meeting to the whole world with proof in your hands.
Yeah.
That's the first thing the alien said. I was like, ooh, nice. All right. That was a pretty smart thing to do.
Yeah.
And then Claude was like, yeah, darn it.
And then Claude should have said, yeah, you should have met my ass back at the office and gone down to the fucking news station with me. You're an alien. Right?
Yeah, really,
yeah.
You could do anything. But, they always kind of have,
no, we have to meet in secret. I can only show the world my presence in secret.
Well, they have a reason. Okay,
all right.
He has a reason. Okay. So, now this is apparently a direct quote from the alien that was from this book that Claude wrote. So Yahweh says, you will tell human beings about this meeting, but you will tell them the truth about what they are and about what we are. Judging from their reactions, we will know if we can show ourselves freely and officially. Wait until you know everything before you start speaking publicly. That might take a while. To know everything. Then you will be able to defend yourself properly against those people who will not believe you, and you will be able to bring them incontestable proof. You will write down everything I tell you and publish the writings as a book. So basically what the alien is saying is that you can't tell everybody about us until you already know everything about us, and then the aliens are going to gauge how cool the humans are before they show themselves to everybody. You got that? Yeah, that's how that whole thing works. So, as I said, it's kind of that's pretty good, covering your bases. So, apparently, they had that little hang, and that was cool. And then the spaceship was parked there, I guess, for the next 5 days. So, Claude kept going back every day and, sitting in the spacecraft with Yahweh and learning all the stuff, about the history of humans and about the alien civilization and whatnot. So at this point, Yahweh tells him about the stuff that's in the Bible that's real, only it's misinterpreted a little bit. So, like I said, this is a very Prometheus type situation. Right. This is a very Chariots of the Gods type situation, which I kind of feel like there was a lot of that kind of stuff going around.
Yeah,
he probably
read that book, Chariots of the Gods, in '73.
Yeah, when did that come out?
'60s, late '60s, I think.
Did it?
What was his name?
Eric Von Daniken.
Von Daniken. Let me go look at the. Actually, I got people in the comment section. You guys find out when Chariots of the Gods.
When did that come out? I kind of thought that was mid-70s, but I could be totally wrong about that. It might have been earlier.
I think it was late 60s.
I feel like that was something that was kind of
it was in the zeitgeist.
In the zeitgeist at the time, where it was just kind of you know, oh, all the stuff in the Bible is true, except it's aliens and not.
Yeah.
That's what they were talking about, was aliens?
Yeah, fucking Ridley Scott had it right, man. Prometheus would have been great had they left that fucking script alone. We read the script.
Yeah.
That shit fucking leaked.
So it did come out. Tila says 1970, Victor says 1978, Chariots of the Gods. So,
70
yes.
or 78?
70 or 68, rather. So either way, it was before
I think
this.
it was before, yeah.
Yeah, so either way. Phil is like, Jen, what is your first question you would ask an alien? Ooh. What would I ask an alien? Shit. Can you teach me how to teleport? I want to do teleportation. That's the thing that I'm most disappointed that they haven't invented from Star Trek. Because, bitch, that would be so awesome. I would love to, because you wouldn't have to commute anymore. You could just be like, boop, boop, and then you're like somewhere else. That'd be rad.
I saw the details behind it.
I wouldn't have to drive anywhere. That'd be so fucking sweet.
I saw the details behind the technology they're talking about, though, of what that would actually do. Wouldn't be so much you would be teleported, you'd be disassembled, okay?
Yeah.
And then reassembled.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. There's no difference between, disassembling you and reassembling you than just assembling you. So what you could do is you could scan that person and know where all the molecules go, and then just using raw materials, record all that as a program, and instead of teleporting one person, turn that person into two. So you'd have two.
Well,
on
which
the other
is
end.
essentially what David Bowie as Nikola Tesla was doing in
there was two.
The Prestige.
Right, and
He invented a machine that it could teleport you, but it actually cloned you.
right. So then, the way eggheads think, because never trust an intellectual, they would say, "Well, wait a minute. If that's all it is, why don't we just disintegrate this person? Okay, we'll take this person's readings, disintegrate him, and then make him reappear over there. It's the same person. It's not the same person though. That's still killing you."
Well, like I said, the Prestige that had that exact plot point.
Right.
That had that exact plot.
That's why they talked about it. It's because those eggheads that were talking about that technology were saying, well, you know what? Transporting it doesn't really make a difference. Why not just scan the person, transmit the data to the remote place? You know what I mean? The program. And then just make a copy over there.
Yeah.
Like what you did in that program.
Yeah.
That would not be you, though.
Yeah. Well, like I said, that's why that was a plot point in that movie.
Yeah.
That's like, sorry, I just spoiled it for people who haven't seen
yeah.
it. But the book came out a long time ago, and the movie came out a long time ago. So and you haven't seen The Prestige. Come on, that was like fucking amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, did you see that?
Mm-mm.
David Bowie played Nikola Tesla in it. Mm. And he was kind of like, he wasn't like the main character. It was like two rival magicians. It was Christian Bale and the dude that played Wolverine. What's that fucker's name? I can't remember.
I heard it's good, though.
It is. It's excellent. Yeah. The book is good, too, although the movie is kind of different, but I liked both, but I liked them for different reasons. I love that movie, actually. It's weird because there was another movie that came out the same year. I think it was called The Illusionist. And I was like, what's with all the magician movies? Not that I'm complaining, because I kind of liked like this old-timey like Victorian magician type shit. Like, just like I like that Victorian spiritualism, seance-y type shit. If you make anything about that, I'll watch it. Seriously.
If I had some technology like that, y'all'd be fucked. Because I'd make billions and billions of copies of myself.
Tom Servo did that on one MST sketch. He just like cloned himself a bunch of times.
Yeah. I'd make fucking huge armies.
It's one of my favorite skits. That's what, it made me laugh because Servo did it, and then the first thing Crow says to him is like, once again, you didn't think things through. It's like you're so cool. We need more of you.
Yeah. I'd just unleash them, you know what I mean? And just say, be fruitful and multiply. And then I'd be your daddies. I'd be all your bitches' daddies. That's right. Everybody would be my child. I would just genetically impregnate the earth. And just like the thing.
So, pro tip, don't give Tom control of anything.
Any
ever.
Technology. I will
the
exploit that shit. Just because I think it was hilarious.
Well, you would think. Nobody else would think it was hilarious.
No. The sardonic element in me would come out. That fucking, where...
Tom is a legit supervillain. Like I said, that's why you shouldn't, give him anything ever. Just don't let him do anything.
Give me a little bitty thing and I'll learn how to fucking put that in a crack and make that crack bigger and bigger and just me popping out. Yeah, gotcha.
By the way, thank you, Zach. The trailer for Ridley Scott's new movie dropped. It's about the assassination of the head of Gucci in the 80s. I remember that. By his ex, and she's played by Lady Gaga. I don't know, that might be good.
Ridley Scott. You need to keep him away from movies now.
Got sidetracked by a neighbor. What did I miss? Tom wants to seed the earth with his clones.
Yeah.
That's what you missed.
Yeah. They weren't really clones or copies from a teleporter.
Well, yeah. Well, essentially they're clones. Yeah. Like clones.
Yeah.
Tom's a legend in his own mind.
Yeah. Well, that's a reality that did not happen. It's just one that I thought of. One that I proposed.
I reject your proposal.
Okay.
All right, so...
Well, you know why I would do that, though? Because if that technology if that technology existed, somebody else would do it. So I'd have to do it first.
You're going to cut that shit off.
I got to cut that shit off, right, yeah. So,
well, I didn't. No one else could do it now.
Well, no, because if I don't do it, then somebody else will. And I ain't going to let that happen to me.
That's pretty
I look at it that way.
That's pretty sound logic.
That's how I look at it. Yeah.
That's pretty sound.
I look at everything like that. Well, if I don't do it, somebody else will. Better me than them. Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Yeah, so where was I? Okay, so...
Different kind of logic.
All right, so Claude, who at this point is still called Claude, he hasn't had his name changed yet. So he's having his little, little classes or whatever with Pierre, the alien, Yahweh rather, on the spaceship. So Yahweh tells him that humans had been created in laboratories by aliens.
Okay.
They were all genetic geniuses. They knew all about cell biology, everything like that. And you're going to love this. The creators of the humans were called the Elohim.
The Elohim.
The Elohim.
Yeah, that's from the Bible.
Yeah, well,
the Hebrew Bible.
I know. Yeah, so, so what the alien told Claude, allegedly, was that, everybody says that in the Bible it means angels or God or whatever, but it actually means, quote, those who came from the sky. Yeah. So, again, very chariots of the gods, all this kind of stuff. Very ancient aliens,
you can interpret all those gods on Mount Olympus, all the fucking Canaanite gods. You can interpret all those stories as extraterrestrials. Eric Von Daniken was correct, because they are. That's what they're talking about. The heavens is space.
It's not really that crazy. I mean, I don't believe it's true, but it's like, it's not really that crazy a belief to come up with.
No. The ancients didn't know what the nature of the sky was. They thought there were levels. There are different levels to the sky.
Yeah, it's just like glass up there. We live like in a dome.
Different levels, and that there's the waters of the sky because it's blue, and then the blue meets the horizon, and then the blue goes up. So there must be water in the sky because the waters of the sky open up and it rains. And there's different levels to the heavens. That's why some clouds are above other clouds in the heavens. And then there's the fucking stars that are set upon the fucking fundament of the fucking sky. It's just a different another way of looking at it. So things come down from the sky. They're coming from, they thought that fucking stars were beings too, celestial beings. So,
Which, like I said, if you think about it in that context, from their point of view, not knowing any of the shit that we know nowadays, it's not really that crazy a belief.
No. Superhuman being or superhuman entities that come from the sky. Aliens.
Mm-hmm.
They made us. They tell you what to do. They look over you. They watch over you. There's a bunch of them. Only worship this one. They watch you jerk
off.
Yeah. There's a whole bunch of them. There's a whole family of them. They don't like each other sometimes. Some of them have chosen you. Worship this one. Don't worship that one. It's chariots of the gods.
Yeah.
That's
the thing. It's really kind of humans extrapolating.
Yeah.
I mean, you see this all throughout history if you study religions and mythologies and stuff like that. It's just humans like extrapolating their shit onto like something but the next level up.
Yeah.
I mean, especially if you look at like the Greeks and Romans, it's like, the gods, they're gods, but it's like they're still petty bitches like regular ass people.
Oh yeah, man. Zeus fooling around on his wife.
Yeah, so it's like they do the same shit that it's like, but they're all powerful.
Constantly knocking up mortal women because they're just fucking hot. You know what I mean? And then there's children.
Ooh, look, I'm a shower of gold.
Yeah, and then God has a son with a mortal woman. It all sounds familiar, right? Hercules, his mom was a mortal. And then shit, they got kinky back in the days. Zeus, sometimes when he really wanted to fucking just throw down on a mortal and make sure his wife Hera didn't see it, he would disguise himself. He would take the form of a bull and fuck the woman. Mm-hmm. So the God was into bestiality.
Ouch.
Yeah, they were into some bestiality shit.
There really did seem to be a lot of that going on back then.
Yeah.
I guess maybe it's because, I guess the ancients lived in a lot closer proximity to animals than most people do nowadays.
Yeah, and they bred animals, so, then they all had sex.
So it was kind of like, I guess it wasn't like that weird to think.
Wasn't that weird to them.
Hey, that bull's looking pretty good.
Well, there was some kind of like, there was a lot of rumors, you know what I mean? Fucking, a lot of ancients from the Greek area, were always afraid that their women were having sex with the bulls, which is kind of like, the ultimate cuck porn type idea. That these bulls are bigger than us and they got bigger dicks. For all we know, these women like these bulls more than us. And they're just lying to us.
They probably did in some cases.
Yeah, and they're just lying to us that they're not having sex with these bulls.
They're like, at least the bulls don't talk.
Yeah. And then you can go, well, what if that bull was actually Zeus? You couldn't kill the bull, see? You'd be disrespectful.
Yeah,
couldn't blame the bull.
It makes sense.
So, it's all kind of, so they lived in a different world, man. I don't think educated people believed any of that.
No, I don't think so either.
No.
I mean, I've read shit from that time period from, like I said, like more educated people, and it sounded like pretty modern.
Yeah, well, Romans straight out would write that fucking that religion was for poor people.
The plebes.
Yeah. They had an imperial cult, and they did worship the imperial gods, but it was mostly a tradition thing and to give confidence to the people that the correct gods were being worshipped, even though they themselves didn't believe in them.
Yeah.
In other words, they went through the motions to look traditional and to look, legendary and conservative and proper. But the rich people didn't believe in any of that.
Yeah, it was all like a performance.
Yeah, it was a performance art.
Yeah. Mark says, "Just made it. Can you start over?"
Yeah, we'll start over.
Yeah, we're gonna start over. You missed all the stuff about all Tom's clones taking over the Earth.
Impregnating the Earth.
We need to make that movie.
Yeah.
I could probably do it.
Be like a horror movie / action movie / porn movie. Yeah.
I just need a whole bunch of footage of you just like running around, and then I'll just like I'll Photoshop it like over the whole entire Earth, all these little Toms.
T says my husband is a Taurus. I can relate. Okay.
Well.
Yes, indeed.
Oh my goodness. Mm-hmm. We're all getting.
Yeah, and fucking she's saying that Zeus is her heavy pet name, her new pet name for the hubby. Yeah.
Rare.
Hit it, Zeus.
Does he come by here anymore? I haven't seen him in a long time.
Who?
Tila's husband.
No, I haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah.
T, get on your other account and impersonate your husband.
Come on, that'll be super funny. No, I'm just kidding.
T's actually a white dude.
Aren't we all white dudes?
Yeah, she's actually
deep
white
down.
Dude. Yeah.
But fourth drawer down said nobody mentions that the Nazca lines could have been made by anyone with a stick and a piece of string. True. Yeah.
She said she's gonna get
the
husband. Yeah, get the hubby to come by when he gets home. All right.
Hi, Pokey.
Yeah, the Nazca lines are not as impressive as people think they are.
What are you doing?
The thing is about the Nazca lines is those are processional lines. You walked around there. They were walking. It was something that you walked through like a path during certain ceremonial rituals.
Phil says, did anybody ever read the book The White Hotel? That starts out very dirty. It goes into flying uteruses. Ooh, I like it. And bull drizzle.
Damn.
All right, I like it. Yeah, you...
The story of the Minotaur is kind of beastie. It's kind of bestiality.
It's beastie.
Yeah, they're sacrificing women and children to the Minotaur. What exactly is he doing to them? They're saying I think it says that it ravished women.
Minotaur stuff.
Yeah.
Well, there's that is a whole subgenre of porn.
Yeah.
Is like man beast combos.
Well,
like I think that's one of the best selling subgenres, actually, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, okay, I'm gonna tell you guys a story. This is back, I think it was in the 1700s. I think it was 1700s or 1600s. They were uncovering this fucking Roman statue. It was this beautiful quality, and all these fucking real proper fucking aristocrats were sitting there watching them uncover this thing, and it had all the ladies there. They're all dressed in their finery, and it turns out to be a very fucking famous statue of a satyr, which is a boy with horns, or a man with horns, goat horns and goat legs. And it's a satyr raping a female goat. Yep. And it's a very famous statue.
It's a nice statue. It's
beautiful quality, ancient Roman statue. And they see that thing, and they were just, and they had it covered
scandalized.
up. They covered it up. And,
fetch my face.
Yeah, covered it up.
Where are my pearls? I need to clutch them.
The Vatican took it, and they go, we got to hide this. They fucking hid that shit down in the damn basement because they didn't have any of the context. It came from an old Roman story. But they were into that shit. Fucking centaurs and women and...
well, centaurs in particular were really known for being mite reaping.
Putting the big horse dick down on the girl.
It was softly putting it down.
I kind of think these were all kind of fucking mechanisms to fucking cuck out dudes. You know what I mean? Like,
probably.
Oh shit, man! Imagine that dude. I think that's what it is.
Old horse cock, man.
Yeah, it's to knock you off your high horse, man. They got a motherfucker who is a horse running around, trying to put the dick on your women.
And he's just gonna slap you in the face with that big old dick.
I don't know what they were thinking, man. They were just.
But it was probably something. It was probably something along those lines.
Something along those lines, probably. Yeah.
Red M10 says, "Yeah, the Minotaur is the result of the Queen of Crete laying with a bull.
Yeah.
She asked for a special device to be made to help.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, she specifically, can you make something so we can? Yeah, well,
what a hoe.
That's on a whole other level of hoery right there.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just wanting a special
get
thing.
That bull.
Yeah. What happened, Pokey?
She's begging. Okay.
What do you want? You don't want anything.
Yeah,
she's kind of like, I kind of want to go outside, but then when you open the door, she's like, no, I don't want to go outside, and then she goes, and then she comes back in, her little back arches up.
But she forgets that it's hot.
Yeah, she forgets. Because it's nice and cool in here, so it's like, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Here it is.
Yeah.
Look at Daddy Poke, isn't he
I'm ready
silly?
to see them statues.
You're ready to see the statues?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So at this point, where was I in the story? So he tells them about the Elohim or whatever.
Yeah.
And that they were actually aliens. At this point, Yahweh, or Pierre the Alien, as we'll call him from now on, gave Claude his new name, which was Raël, like I said, with the umlaut, because he's metal, and told him, I want you to spread the message of how humans were created. Also, he very specifically wanted an embassy built for when the Elohim were coming to the Earth. Because apparently the Elohim wanted to come to Earth and meet with all the world leaders, just like in all the 50s sci-fi movies, and share their advanced technology with us. But there was a condition in that the Elohim didn't want to come here until world peace had been achieved. Good luck with that. So they're never coming. Yeah, and
good luck with that, man.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like they're never coming. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And that's not gonna happen. And the embassy had been built, and they wanted it built in Jerusalem. They didn't. I don't know if they gave specifications over what they wanted. Did they want a hot tub? How many bathrooms? How many bedrooms? I don't know. But apparently, they wanted an embassy. When that's done, and when there's world peace, then the aliens will come to Earth and hang with us and give us all their advanced technology. Like I said, that's a pretty good way of pushing shit off to essentially never, because that's never gonna happen. So at this point, Raël is like, okay, can do. And he pretty much, thank you, David. Hail, Pookie. Look, Pookie, somebody's worshiping you. She's like, that's okay. I'm just sniffing stuff on the carpet. I don't care. She goes around on the carpet and goes, essentially smelling stuff, but it sounds like she's snuffling out. I'm not really sure what that is. But yeah, so Raël starts a movement. I don't know. I feel like there's not a lot known, because I feel like everything that I read about this is just kind of like, yeah, the aliens came and talked to him for 6 days or whatever, and they told him, hey, like, you need to build an embassy and you need to start this movement. Tell everybody that aliens made us and we're going to come here when everybody gets their shit together. And then he starts out, and then suddenly he has like a few hundred followers, and then it just like keeps building up and up. I guess I don't know. I'm always fascinated by the early days of the cult, because you know how hard it is to like start, you know, like a small business or something like that, for example, and how hard it is to get the word out, and yet some dude in France who's just like some random dude that was just like a street musician and wrote for a race car magazine, he comes out and says, an alien landed and talked to me for a week and told me all this stuff, and so let's start a movement. And everyone's like, okay. You know what I mean? The fact that you would get people to go along with that is like, that blows my mind. That blows my mind. Maybe I just haven't tried hard enough. I don't really know. I always kind of feel like maybe I can come up with some really stupid story and get like a bunch of people to like follow along. I don't know. But like I said, this really doesn't seem... I'm not sure. The dude... Okay, so Vice did a documentary for Vice that's called... What's it called? I think it's called The Prophet and the Space Aliens. And he basically went and hung out with Raël and them and his followers. And I watched like some of it, but then after a while I kind of got bored and I wandered off and did some other stuff. But because it was mostly kind of like, hey, look at all these, you know, happy ass people, and it was, I don't know, it just wasn't all that exciting. So so I didn't watch the whole thing, but it did seem like the only thing that made me suspicious was that right at the beginning of the documentary, like when the dude, I can't remember the name of the dude that made it, but he was filming them, and Raël and this other woman, I don't remember if it was his wife or just one of his followers, but they were walking a little bit ahead of the documentary filmmakers, and Raël said, just remember you're being recorded, so watch what you say, or something like that. So that was the only thing that kind of made me suspicious. You know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of like, maybe he wanted this documentary as kind of like to make him look good and stuff, and maybe there is nefarious shit going on. But even the people that have left the religion or left the cult or whatever don't really seem to have anything that, you know, nothing like, you know, Scientology, where it's like, you know, people were like fucking beaten up and, you know, put in trailer, like locked in trailers for years at a time or anything like that. I haven't really heard anything about that, but the fact that he said that is a little bit weird, but you know, I don't know. So
Damn, I look pretty with this white hair.
I do kind of love it. Yeah, Mark said, how do you think dudes get laid? Half of it's being a good storyteller. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I guess that's what it is. They will never let you into space if you're married to a stripper. Well, I don't know about that. And then Tila said, I feel like aliens would be most interested in strippers. You'd think. I mean, everybody loves strippers, right?
Aliens wouldn't give a shit about any of our technology or anything. probably, or any of our so-called natural resources. Everything that the Earth is made out of is common, including water and everything. It's just fucking everywhere. Out in the Kuiper Belt, there's fucking huge planetoids full of water. Frozen ice. Which is the only thing that they would ever be interested in us would be people. That might make them interested, and artwork. Human artwork.
Either that or just people because we're delicious. Maybe they just want to eat us. Like maybe we're like a delicacy.
Chances are most aliens are not biological.
I would imagine.
They're probably living machines. I don't need to eat.
Yeah, Redham Tennant says, I mean, the Elohim in this story definitely loves strippers. I do kind of feel like they do, because there's a lot of sex stuff going on in this cult. But it all seems to be consenting sex stuff, so I don't really have a problem with it. Like I said, I haven't really heard anything about like weird underage shit or anything crazy like that.
In other words, it's like a club scene.
Yeah, it kind of strikes me more as like a hippie commune, everybody's happy type of shit, rather than, I mean, you know.
See, Tila's fucking loving on this fucking See.
You need like a bell.
Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding.
It's ultimate fucking prettiness.
I don't know why you don't, like, you should have worn one of your jackets
this
or
is
something.
back when white boys were white boys.
When they wore wigs and tights.
They wore wigs and tights.
And high heels.
That's right. Yeah, little fucking knee socks and shit.
I know, I love it.
Checking out who had the best calves.
Yeah, see, that needs to come back, I feel like. That was some pretty slick looking shit. Motherfuckers knew how to dress back then. They looked all fucking tight.
I have a feeling most dudes didn't wear that. Only real rich guys wore that.
Well,
shit.
yeah, that was kind of like an upper class.
That's
type
for
of thing.
fucking rich people.
Everybody else just wore like regular ass
shit, yeah.
baggy work pants and shit like that. So yeah, so he started, the Raëlian movement, because of course he named it after himself. That's not his real name, but you know that was the name of the alien.
Yeah, real white boy right there. Thank you, Tom. That's right. That's right. You need to buy a wig for your old man. Put that on him. That way you accomplish something. That's a real white man. Like on the money.
like
on the money.
Yeah.
It's fucking funny.
Now, okay, so he starts the movement, and then a couple years later, apparently, according to another one of his books, because like I said, he's written a shit ton of books about all of his experiences and what the aliens told him and stuff. So it's 1975, and then apparently Yahweh, or Pierre the alien as we're calling him, comes back to Earth. This time, I guess he wanted to see his old buddy. He wanted to see his old buddy Raël, so he comes back in the saucer, like drops by Raël's house. It's like, hey, bro, long time no see. I don't know if that's what happened. I'm just like, making it up. So they pick him up, and they take him out into the galaxy somewhere. Outside of the solar system, apparently, they go to an orbiting spa, which sounds nice. He got some aromatherapy treatment, a nice massage. Some shit like that. Maybe a mud bath, maybe a facial. I don't know. I'm making stuff up at this point. Although the aromatherapy and the massage is true. That was in the book. That he went out to a spa at the edge of the galaxy. I don't know. I can't prove it's not there. I'm just saying. Maybe there's a spa out there in space. I don't know. So then apparently they go to the home world of the Elohim, which was like a jungle planet. And it's called the Planet of the Eternals. Because, you'd think they'd come up with a better name than that. Thank you, Zach. The cult had a Jewish influence, right? Sorta, yeah. I don't hear much about extremism or crazy people when it comes to Judaism. Half the nicest people I ever met are Jewish for whatever reason, yeah. Yeah, I think it's because they don't really have a tradition of trying to, like, convert people. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe they don't really seem all that. Because this one seems... It is kind of Jewish influenced a little bit, I guess, but... This one is kind of like, they have a thing where it's pretty much all religions have some correct to them, because their whole argument is, the aliens created everybody, but every culture had a different interpretation of the aliens, and how it's, so that's why the religions are a little bit different. So he's kind of like covering all the bases. So in that way, they're actually really open-minded to pretty much all religions. And what that Vice documentary I was watching, one of the things that a lot of particularly their African members like about it is that Raël apparently tells them that they should like stay with their own, like their more like traditional beliefs, like African beliefs, rather than the colonialist type of stuff being for, what I mean? They should go back to their like traditions and stuff.
What Zach is talking about is Judaism is not evangelical.
Yeah, that's what I said. They're not trying to like convert anybody.
Islam and Christianity are evangelical. They like to spread. They have different ways to do it. Judaism is more about having to do with ethnicity. Come here.
What are you doing?
Who's related to who?
Yeah.
Basically, if you're born of a Jewish mother, you're Jewish.
Yeah.
That's basically it.
So while Raël is on the Planet of the Eternals, which, like I said, they need a snappier name for the planet. I mean, you'd think it would be better than that. I don't know. Planet of the Eternals. So while he's there, he gets to meet Jesus and Buddha, Muhammad, Moses, all of them were there. Everybody's hanging out on the planet. They all went out for dinner. Probably had some beers. I don't know. Watched the game. I don't know. Again, the dinner part's true. So then Raël goes to this lab, which is where they're making the people, which are like biological robot type things. So apparently while he was there, they made a biological robot of his mom. And then also they made a bunch of, hot young women, because of course they did.
Yeah.
And then they all go and party. I don't know if Raël's mom was also involved in the party / orgy, which I'm imagining, which would be a little weird, but I guess it's not his real mom, so I guess it's weird, but okay. Whatever. And apparently in one of his books, he has written extensively about what happened at this party. So I'm sure that's like a really entertaining read. Shit, man, I should have like downloaded the ebook and we could have like read it on here.
Talk about what happened.
That'd have been like super funny. Because, well, I'm sure it probably was. Because like I said, there's a lot of sex going on in this religion. But as it seems to be all consensual, I'm not really bothered.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not mad about it. But yeah, please go read this dude's books. I'm sure they're really easy to get. I think a lot of them are even free. Because he's written a shit ton of them, and I'm sure they're wildly entertaining.
What's funny about people's reactions to religions like this, where religions that mix sex, in Western culture, Middle Eastern too, the idea of mixing sex and religion is like fucking, oh my god, it's horrible. But if you look throughout histories, most of them were like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty recent...
Yeah, that's a recent...
Innovation isn't the word that I want to use.
That was Abrahamic religions that kind of were against that. Most other religions weren't against it at all. They even had temple prostitution and stuff.
Yeah.
Where a temple was a whorehouse. It was like a holy whorehouse. But that's how they raised money. Holy. Well, they did that too in Christianity, or that Christian cult. What was that called? The fucking Children of God?
Yeah.
With the flirty fishing, which is pimping out your fucking women. Mm-hmm. They do it too. You can justify anything in any way you want to if you put the right spin on the scripture. Yeah,
as long as people believe it if you got a good story.
If you got a good story, they'll spin it. But sex and alcohol, or sex, drugs, and entertainment and spectacle were usually the driving force that kept a religion alive in civilization. Rome especially, they didn't have nightclubs. They had temples. You paid to get in. And they even had a coin-operated machine. Sometimes it would dispense things like wine. They had drugs in it. You'd watch
They put a band around your wrist? Not really.
Big spectacle of moving statues and dancing and weird stories that they're telling you.
Make its eyes bleed.
Yeah. And then getting loaded and drinking and having sex, worshiping Bacchus or something, which was the god of fucking wine, and having holy revelations through all this drug taking.
Man, I had so many revelations last night.
And they're like, let's do that again next week. Let's do that again next weekend.
Yeah, I had some revelations before too, like the next morning. Ugh.
And that's exactly what it was. Blah. It was big business. It was part of the entertainment industry. They didn't have movies or anything, or TV. So it was all wrapped up into one thing. Christianity was like that too. It was just not as fun.
Yeah.
They didn't have the
that
sex.
Seemed like kind of more like, I don't know. It's amazing to me that they actually got that many people to like go along with it, because it seemed like they had all the party religions like before that, and then like Christians came along and said, let's not have any of that, blah blah blah, and everyone's like, nah.
Well, Christianity did not. Contrary to what modern Christians are taught to believe, Christianity did not spread like wildfire, word of mouth.
No, it took a long time.
It happened in one fell swoop, and that was Rome made it a government-backed religion. If you wanted to get promoted, you had to be a Christian, and that was I think it was around. It's in 2nd century, 3rd century, I think.
I want to say it was 300 something.
Yeah, 300 something.
I can't remember. Became
the official religion, and eventually they started outlawing other ones, but it took a long time. Yeah. So it was kind of just, it was put in there by government power, government decree.
So everyone at least had to pay lip service to it.
Yeah.
Even if they didn't really believe it, and they were still going and partying with the Bacchus people. which is totally
eventually
valid.
all competitors were eliminated though.
It's like, what's the religion that's gonna like make me let me drink and do whatever I want?
Right.
Okay, I'm gonna go with that one.
Well, you know, our concept of the Abrahamic concept of what a religion is only in Abrahamic religions, only them.
Do you need a beret?
Buddhism isn't like that. The ancient religions were not like that. Ancient Egyptian religion may have been a little bit like that. May have been a little bit like Christianity. Probably like Catholicism.
Yeah.
Seems to be, based on what people have said about it.
Amanda Marie asked if we had watched the Borgias. We haven't yet, but that is on my list. I do want to actually watch that. Yeah, so Raël at this point, like I said, he met Jesus and Buddha and Moses and all them. And he's still on the planet of the Eternals. And then he gets taken to this other place where they put this helmet thing on him. And this helmet is supposed to, I don't know, like juice up his brain or something, like put all the smarts in there. It's putting all the smart into his brain. Because he's going to be like an ambassador of the aliens, he has to be like one of the smartest motherfuckers on Earth, right? So they have to like cram all this stuff into his brain with the helmet. Because, as I mentioned before, one thing that Raëlians believe is that the world should be run by geniuses. A geniocracy. Geniocracy?
That's fucking funny.
Yeah. Like, only the smartest people should run shit.
They're
also,
not the only ones that thought that, though.
Well, no, I know.
Yeah.
But also, they think that you should have to pass an IQ test to vote, other things like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, they think that geniuses should be the ones running the Earth.
Yeah, they ripped that off. In the early 1900s, there was a political party in the United States called the Technocrats. You can look them up.
Thank you, Phil.
The Technocrats believed that too. They wanted a technocracy, which is a government run by professionals, because of course they're honest. Yeah, you know, and educated people. They were the prototype of American communists, really, is what they were. But they wore little gray uniforms. They looked like something out of damn Metropolis, the movie Metropolis from the 20s. That's exactly what they looked like. But I guess they vanished over time. I think they probably got absorbed by communist and socialist parties of the early 1900s.
Now, I will note that the Raëlians, they did say that they thought the Earth should be run by geniuses, but they didn't necessarily think that meant people that had just, like, studied a lot, or, you know, that didn't necessarily mean people with a lot of degrees, because they did say, like, there were some working class people that were smarter than people that,
just IQ tests.
So it was just like, yeah, so it was just that type of thing.
That actually might work.
Which, like I said, I don't know, though, because, like, IQ tests, they'd have to be redesigned, because they're very, they only really test, like, one very narrow
just problem
thing.
solving.
That's pretty much all they test.
Yeah, solving puzzles.
And that's not necessarily, because I've known people that didn't do good on tests or didn't do good on IQ tests, but they were, like, really smart in other ways. So not everyone is smart in that very one narrow, like, particular way.
I actually read that they have changed a lot of that, though.
They probably have at this point, because so many people have complained about it. Because people were complaining about that, like, back in the 70s,
Well,
honestly.
they said there was different kinds of genius. You had mathematical genius, and you had other kinds of fucking spatial genius. People that could fucking see distances and see shapes the way other people couldn't see it. And another one that kind of fucking wigged me out was something called genius of social engineering, which is a person who is a genius at manipulating people.
Yeah.
Which would have nothing to do with those IQ tests. And they said that what indicated a person's ability to succeed in a mass power was how well they scored upon that fucking...
Yeah.
On that fucking social genius, what they call it, human engineering genius.
Yeah.
That those guys actually rose to the top because they're just manipulative. They can predict the reactions of others and set a stage to get people to do things for them. That they're actually the ones that has nothing to do with mathematical genius. You know what I mean? In other words, like...
Yeah, those are two completely different things.
Right. Yeah. Some of these real intelligent guys never really make much out of their lives because it's too narrow. Then some of the guys that can become fucking great leaders and fucking billionaires and trillionaires, they're just really manipulative.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they don't test for that. But they need to.
They probably should. I mean, I kind of feel like the only way they test for that is when they're doing tests if you're like a sociopath.
Right. They're all high functioning psychopaths.
Yeah.
That's kind of spooky, but they have the advantage because they don't care.
Well, yeah.
By any means necessary.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
It's, having a conscience, everybody should have a conscience, but in some ways, having one can be kind of a handicap.
I think they do have a conscience. It's just that they don't have a problem with things that you would have problems. In other words, they're like, no, I'm fucking this person over because they're weak.
Well, yeah, they have like I said.
I'm supposed to do this.
Yeah.
This is the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Might makes right. I'm better than this person, so I'm just going to take their shit. And it might be. He's smarter, fucking has more power, he's amassed more, he's actually playing the game in a warlike way, he's planned this out. And in a way, he's winning because he's made himself a winner. And he's like, well, might makes right. I'm going to do this because to leave you in charge would be wrong. I'm going to be in charge. It's that kind of thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that. But like I said, it's, some of us
they're assholes. Of course they're assholes.
Well, yeah.
But you can't amass power and not be an asshole.
It's very, very difficult.
I mean, I'm sure.
Around. Yeah.
Watch the news.
Well, that's what I mean. It can be done, but it's really, really difficult.
Real hard because you have to crush a lot of other assholes on your way up.
You do, yeah.
Yeah.
You do. It's in that way, like, nice guys do finish last, I gotta say. Not so much in, just regular life, but if you're trying to, like, be rich and famous or anything like that.
Hey, that fucking
series. Being nice is not.
That series Spartacus laid it right out. That series Spartacus was at least fucking honest about that shit. Although they did eventually get theirs because what goes around comes around. That was the game they were playing.
Well, see, that's another thing is that there's always somebody that's gonna.
There's always a bigger fish.
It's a bigger fish than you. That's gonna kick your ass.
Yeah.
You do that to people. You fuck people over. Somebody's bigger than you is gonna come along and fuck you over just harder.
Yep. But that was the crucible they were being.
That's what I mean. It's like so you have to accept that. Like, don't whine about it.
That's right. You do not have the right to hand death out to others when you're going to cry like a bitch when somebody hands it out to you. It's equal opportunity. It's a hater's game, but it's equal opportunity hating.
In a way, I think that's what makes me mad about, because, we talk about a lot of, like, shitty people on this show.
Yeah.
Like a lot of murderers and stuff like that. I think it makes me hate them even more when their time comes and then they start crying about it and it's like trying to come up with some excuse. I'm like, bitch, at least give people, at least have the fucking self-respect to come out and go,
it like a fucking man.
Yeah, I did that shit. You got me.
Right.
I'm not saying that makes what they did better, but I'm just saying that don't, like, do all that shit and was like, yeah, I can do what I want, but, like, when you get caught, like, oh, suddenly you're crying and but I'm a victim and blah blah blah.
There were a few cases, we haven't talked about them yet, but I remember hearing them, where they had this one guy where he was in his 20s. He was just hell bent on raping little boys and hanging them and killing them when he was done. I think he did 2 or 3 of them. I think he did one of them in an abandoned house and hung the boy in a fucking closet.
Oh, I know who you're talking about, but I can't think of his name. But
when they caught him, they wanted to try to get him life, and he goes, no, I want death. And they were like, what? And he goes, I don't deserve to live. And he said, and there's
at least he was that self-aware.
And he says, and then he said, and I can never be freed because I'll just do it again. He says, I'll do it again.
See, like I said, those are still horrible people.
But at least
they were self-aware and they fessed up and they didn't try to come up with some excuse or try to wiggle their way out of it.
No. So at least he gave a little bit of respect.
At least they said,
that.
Just don't let me go because I can't stop myself.
No.
At least they know.
He told the court he was a monster and that he needed to die. And that he couldn't be released.
At which point they should just take him out back and just like shoot him in the head.
He says, if you release me, I'll do it. He said, if you release me, I'll do it again. He goes, that's what I do. So you're going to have to kill me.
That's my thing.
Yeah, that was his thing. Well, that was his sexual orientation.
Yeah.
So,
and I'm not saying, like I said, I don't think any of them are worthy of respect. I'm just saying that.
But at least he was honest.
At least that much. You had like one tiny little modicum, one little iota of fucking...
Well, it was also still kind of self-serving. He didn't want to spend the rest of his life in prison.
Well, that too.
But at least he went headlong into death. I mean, he was killing little boys. You fucking need to fucking go headlong into death, bitch. You know what I mean?
Amanda Marie said, I know you never covered this case, but the dating game killer Rodney Alcala died in prison. I don't know if anyone knew. Yeah, I've been wanting to do that case for a long time, actually, because that dude, like, fucking creeped me out. He was on the fucking dating game and everything. I put it in the poll a bunch of times, but it never wins. We'll probably get around to it. Maybe we should do it soon, then, because if he just died. So, you know. Because, yeah, I've been wanting to do that for a while. I can't remember. I don't remember as much about his crimes as I do about that fucking creepy shit about him being on the dating game. So, all right. So, where are we?
I don't know.
Okay. So, 1975, he apparently comes back. Raël apparently comes back from his 666-day vacation in the galaxy where he went to the spa and he met Jesus and everything. So, you know, that was fun. So, when he comes back to Earth, like I said, at this point, he has like a few hundred followers. And then over the ensuing decades, he's got like a pretty respectable, you know, as religions go, I guess, like as small religions go, he's got a pretty respectable following. Their website, their official website, I think says 40,000, which maybe that's an exaggeration. Some other sociologists that have looked into it said maybe it's more like 20,000, but could be 30,000. So it's not that far off. Many of them, I think like the vast majority of them are in Europe, mainly France. Japan has a fuck ton of them, about 4,000, 5,000 people there, and 4,000 or 5,000 in Quebec also. Those are kind of like, there's a bunch in South Korea as well. For some reason in Japan and South Korea, it's kind of like, it's not a big thing. It's only like a few thousand people, but they do have like a lot of, I think after Europe, that's like their biggest area of people being in it. So yeah, but I think it's like 67, 68 countries they have members in. So, and they also say that their numbers are growing. I don't know if that's true or not, because Scientologists say that too, and that's obviously not true.
No, their numbers have been growing. By their numbers, fucking a whole continent is Scientologists. That's bullshit. Bullshit.
Well, see, Scientologists count every time we handed a pamphlet to somebody.
That they're now Scientologists, right?
I kind of feel like they count that. They're fudging the numbers just a tad.
Scientologists are full of shit.
Well, I kind of, like, all religions are full of shit. I mean, I'm just going to say that right now. So I'm not, like I said, I'm not lumping these people in with Scientologists, because these people, even though it's kind of a similar belief system as, you know, vis-a-vis aliens,
they are,
but these people seem a lot less, like I said, a lot less nefarious than the Scientologists do, for sure.
Another one that's full of shit that a lot of Christians get pissed when they look at those numbers of how many Muslims are alive. You know what I mean? They go, oh my God, they're outnumbering us. That number's bullshit too, because those Islamic countries count every one of their citizens as Islamic, whether they believe that shit or not. Because there's a lot of crypto non-believers, or just what they call cultural Muslims, where they've raised in a Muslim society, they're not real religious. And
well, I kind of feel like that happens in a lot of Christian countries too, where a lot of people are like cultural. I go to church on like Christmas and Easter, but they don't give a shit about it the rest of the time. I knew a lot of people.
That's like what they're doing, and it would be. What the Islamic churches do is they basically count everybody. Well, shit, that'd be like a Christian church here, counting everybody in Europe and in the United States as Christian. That's
probably some of them try to.
They probably try to do that.
I feel like they do try to do that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, I'm not in that. Yeah. Can I just say?
For a while, you know, when I was living in Egypt, I was under the impression that Islam was the same everywhere. No, it's like Christianity. There's a bunch of major denominations, then a bunch of other ones, and it also depends on where you grew up in Islam. A lot of those Islamic people are not religious.
Well, yeah, like I said, it's just like Christianity. It's just because some people say, if somebody asked you outright, like, what religion you are, like, you were raised that, and you still kind of believe it maybe, but you don't really think about it in your day-to-day life.
Then they'll look at ISIS and go, that's not Islam. That's bullshit. That's not Islam. And that would be the same as a Christian seeing some, like, real fucking hardcore Christian fundamentalist fucking, you know, shooting a place up, you know,
like an abortion
and
clinic.
And they say, well, that's not a Christian. The thing
is, though,
Yeah, so I was going to say, the thing is, though, is that it's all man-made interpretations.
Yeah.
Anybody can interpret anything as anything. Is ISIS real Islam? Yeah, it is. They're following that shit literally. But is the average Islamic person doing that? No. The average Islamic person is kind of like the average Christian person. They have Christmas. You know?
Yeah, it's like every now and then they're like, woo, and they're all like,
they're cultural Christians.
But then the rest of the time, like I said, they don't think about it. They just think about regular life shit like the rest of us.
Exactly. They're just living their normal life. They're not real religious. They have fucking cultural mores that they do. They're not that different from a Westerner, really. You know, when I was fucking having fun with them in Egypt, you know, and also in the Sinai Peninsula down Dahab and stuff, partying with them, you know, out there in Dahab. And had one guy, you know, they were playing this fucking house song, and they had, what was the one where you had Arnold Schwarzenegger going, "Hasta la vista, baby"? Remember that old fucking techno song?
Yeah.
The Arab dude next to me was an Egyptian. He goes, "What does hasta la vista mean?" Says, "You know what that means?" And it says, "See you later" in Spanish. He goes, "Oh, who is that?" That's Arnold Schwarzenegger. Arnold Schwarzenegger? Yeah, I had to tell him about Terminator. He said, "Oh, the Terminator? That's the yeah, it's the Terminator." He knew what the Terminator was.
I mean, you know.
But I guess he saw a dubbed version, so he didn't realize that was what you know.
Yeah, lots of things are like lost in translation.
Yeah, because I guess the Arabic version of Terminator 2 was, of course, dubbed, and Hasta La Vista wouldn't translate, and they'd probably never even heard of Arnold Schwarzenegger's voice.
That's true. Isn't that weird to think about?
Yeah.
Because I feel like in a lot of countries they do dub the shit.
Yeah, it's dubbed, so he didn't get it.
Even though I can't, I can't fucking stand dubbing. I really wish they wouldn't do it. I mean, the only time it doesn't bother me is like Giallo movies, because that's like part of the whole experience. But normally, you know, I'm reading the subtitles. I don't want like a bunch of people and like not talking in their real voices. It like wigs me out.
Yeah. Tila says, an Iranian friend of mine calls practicing Muslims in the U.S. McMuslims, because the women can drive and the women can date and eat meals together. Yeah, that's kind of the way Christianity was formed, you know what I mean? When you had people from Jewish backgrounds living in the Roman Empire, over time they became so Roman that they had to reboot their religion into Christianity. It was a reboot. Do
over.
Yeah. They were kind of like the McJews of the Roman.
That's another good band
like
name.
McJews, yeah,
the McJews.
The McJews. They were like the McJews of the
They
Roman
kind of have to
Empire.
be Scottish, though, to be funny. That'd be funnier. Yeah. They could be like a Scottish folk band.
Right.
But that could sing like Hanukkah songs. Man, I've got all kind of good ideas today.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I've got all kind of good ideas for bands that no one's ever going to form. But, you know. Yeah, so, where was I? Okay, so, it's probably, did we have any booze left?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't have any of that cherry left, though.
That's okay. What do we have left?
I'll make you some.
Oh, okay. It'll be a surprise, I guess. All my cherry vodka's gone. Shit. Which I totally forgot. That I just take it for granted because we haven't drank since Wednesday. So I kind of take it for granted that it's like we still got booze, because we usually have like 3 or 4 bottles in there, but I just take it for granted there was some in there. And then 10 minutes before the show, he's like, we don't really have that much booze left, so I guess we just have to drink whatever. But I said that's okay, because I don't want to get too fucking fucked up, because I'm super sleepy. So yeah, so they say that the movement's growing. Like I said, I don't know if that's true or not, because, you know, all religions kind of like bullshit their numbers, because they're always like, woo, we're taking over the world, you know what I mean? Although, like I said, I kind of feel like the Raëlians don't seem to want to take over the world. Not in the sense that other religions do, where it's like, yeah, we want everybody to convert to this. I think because they're pretty cool with like people being whatever religion. They're just kind of like, we just want everybody to be cool with each other and acknowledge that we were all made by aliens, and that unless we're all cool with each other, the aliens aren't going to come here. So we all want to be cool so the aliens will come here. So that's kind of like their end game. So, which, like I said, doesn't seem terribly. It's loopy, but it's not nefarious.
That's it right there. That's the last of it.
Okay, thank you.
It's good. Whipped cream, and taste it. Whipped cream and pineapple.
Oh, it smells good. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, good. Tastes like a pineapple upside down cake. Mm-hmm. So by 1997, the religion had raised about $7 million. Now, the $7 million is toward the construction of the embassy. Because remember I said how the alien said you have to build an embassy in Jerusalem before we'll come there. Also, there has to be world peace because, like I said, that'll never happen. But they did have $7 million for the embassy. Now, so apparently they're going to have the money for the embassy, but they ran into problems wanting to build the embassy in Jerusalem. One of the problems being that the Israeli government did not really like, if you guys have seen the symbol that the Raëlians use. The symbol that they use, I don't know why they didn't just come up with their own logo, like I said, but the symbol is like a Jewish star with a swastika in the middle.
Yeah.
Which, like I said, it seems like not much forethought went into that. So, as you can imagine, the Israeli government was a little testy about why, like, can we build an embassy here? Oh, by the way, here's our symbol. And they're like, yeah, we don't like that. So they're kind of having some problems in that regard. They did actually change their logo, I think in the 90s, to a Jewish star, but now it just has like a swirl in the middle that's supposed to like represent a galaxy or whatever, which to me like makes more sense. I don't know why they keep insisting, and I think I've talked about this on the Wednesday show. They keep insisting that, yeah, but the swastika just means like the four winds, and it's just kind of, which it does. I get that, but not a lot of people know that anymore. Like the association's been forever tainted, so it's really not worth it, I feel like, to use. I mean, it's just like a bunch of lines. You could come up with another series of lines that isn't offensive to like millions of people. I'm just saying. So they did actually change it, but still the Israeli government were like, nah, I still don't know. They don't know how they feel about it. So I guess I don't know how it's going now. Like I said, I think they do have money to at least kind of get started on the building. But Israel is still saying like, yeah, I don't know if we want that here. So maybe they said, well, maybe we can build it in Egypt or Palestine or somewhere. I don't know. They're trying to like build it someplace because they want the aliens to come here. But like I said, they can build all the embassies they want, but, and there's that whole caveat of like, there has to be world peace before the aliens come. I was just like, that's not, you're never going to achieve that. No one's, they're not going to come here. So, at this point, also 1997, and this is probably the thing that they're best known for because this was all over the fucking media, like in the 90s, and early 2000s. So in 97, the Raëlians, they said that they had formed this company called Valiant Venture Limited, and their service, they started a service called Clonaid, which, like I said, this kind of is the main thing that people know about them. Now, initially, what they wanted to do, they're like, we want to develop human cloning technology, which the aliens apparently told Raël about. The first thing they wanted to do was they wanted to give infertile couples, gay couples, stuff like that. They wanted to give them, they wanted to be able to like clone one of the partners, and like then you can have like a kid if you can't have a kid. So that was kind of like what their, who their audience was, I guess. So they formed this. Now, on their site, their whole thing is that the aliens, because they created all the life on Earth using DNA, so it's just kind of like the Raëlians, because of this, they're really, one thing I kind of like about them is they're very science positive, because the aliens are so far ahead technologically. The Raëlians are very into technology and using technology to improve people's lives, which I think is cool. Because like I said, a lot of religions, you kind of see like, oh, science is the devil and blah, blah, blah. So I'm used to it being like an antagonistic relationship, but the Raëlians are very, very pro-science. They're very into DNA, like they're into all the cloning stuff. They're into nanotechnology. They're really into genetic engineering of like, GMOs, like making bigger crops, like to feed more people, like anything that will make people's lives better. They're all about it, which in a way I think is like cooler than most religions, gotta say, Yeah,
okay. Camp guys in there saying that they can clone other things. Why they probably can't clone humans. Cloning is not as high tech as people think it is.
It's really not.
It's kind of done by hand in a certain way. They do have some new tools now where they're shooting pieces of DNA strands into cells of unfertilized eggs, and then they wait to see which of them take. And the thing is that when you're shooting that DNA in there, it damages that DNA. And in the past, the animals that were born didn't live long. They had a lot of problems. But if it's happening today, I'm pretty sure they're doing it with humans. But they're probably only doing it in China. China has the laws that would allow it. They have the will, and the rich people have the money. And they would probably be doing it. Very rich people might be cloning their children. There might be a problem. There might be.
Gotta have extras.
Well, I would think they would probably be genetically engineering them. Genetically engineering children.
Which, honestly, if they had the technology to do that, which I'm sure is not really that far off. I know there's like a lot of ethical dilemmas and stuff. I'm not saying that. Yeah. But if you had the technology to genetically engineer a kid that you were going to have, I don't want this kid, I want this kid to have all the advantages. I don't want to have all these diseases and all this hardship and stuff like that. In a way, I can see the appeal of that. I mean, you don't want, that's your kid. You don't want them to suffer. You want them to be successful.
But you're looking at it from a very Western, high-minded perspective.
Well, yeah.
And if you know the Chinese, that's not what they're concerned about. They're only concerned about looks. Looks, how strong they are, and what they look like. There's a channel called Serpent ZA. Go watch that channel. It's a South African guy who he left South Africa and lived in China for I think 13 years, and married a Chinese woman who's a doctor. She's a real good-looking woman that he married, and has a real good-looking little daughter with her. And they left China. Once he left China, he's still on that channel, and he's now in the United States. I think he got asylum here. He's kind of more able to talk about the way China really was when living there, and there's a secret police and everything. You can even see, what do you call it? The Chinese are odd. The Chinese do not like how they look. They really actually like how Western people look.
Well, I think that's kind of endemic across Asia.
Yeah, they don't like how they... And whenever they're online, they face-tune themselves to look a lot more Western. To me, it looks like an E.T. They think it's Western. They kind of want to look like half Asian and half Caucasian. Is how they want to look. They don't want to, I guess, breed with Caucasian people, though. These Chinese people want to have children with each other and then have an Amerasian-looking child. That can only be done through genetic engineering and cloning if you didn't want to have outside donors. Well, they have all the laws and they have the technology in China. It wouldn't surprise me if they're doing it. Because I know that they're trying to genetically engineer soldiers. They're also putting soldiers on super soldier serum. Steroids. They're doing all kinds of stuff. They don't have the same ethical problems.
Well, in a way, like I said, I can see that there's ethical dilemmas because there's kind of a thing. But in a way, I'm kind of like, if all you're doing is, I want my kid to be good looking, like, you can say that's shallow, which it is. But in another way, good looking people get treated better. So there might be a bigger... And honestly, if you're not genetically engineering, the kid that you pop out is just a crapshoot.
Yeah.
You don't know how that kid's going to turn out. They might be, like, fugly or something like that. And, like, they might get treated like crap because of that, which is sad, but true. So it's kind of like... I don't know. I don't really know how I feel about it. You know what I mean? It's like... It just seems like...
When they'll actually, you can go online and actually see like interviews with people there, and they're asking, how they would want their children to look, and they just say the craziest shit. You know what I mean? They're Chinese and they want kids with blue or green eyes. They want kids to be 6 foot something. They want kids that have like a Caucasian nose. They call it a fucking big nose or a tall nose. They want that feature. They want certain fucking hair. They like the black hair though. That's strange. But they like fucking muscular builds. But the thing is, though, it's funny. The Japanese guys will say the same thing. They're, oh man, those white guys and those black guys, they look cool because they're so big. I was in Korea. There's they say it's their skeletons, which is total fucking bullshit. You know what I mean? When I was in the Army, we had Katusas, which are a Korean Army augmentation of the United States Army. There were Koreans in the United States Army with us as interpreters, but they're South Koreans. Their skeletons were no different, really, than American guys. It's just that those bitches didn't work out, and they were eating a very low protein diet, so they're slender.
Well, and the thing about it, too, is that some people, like skeletons or no, like some people are just more slender than other people. Some people don't bulk up as much as other people. It's just kind of like, you know what I mean?
Well, next to us, there's a fucking Korean Special Forces Airborne unit. They were called the Golden Bats, which was one of their elite Special Forces units. You can look it up.
That's a pretty rad name.
The Golden Bats.
It's like cheesy, but also kind of rad.
Yeah, cheesy as shit. They look like fucking Spider from fucking Johnny Robot. You know what I mean? Remember Johnny Psycho, the bad guys?
Oh my God,
Johnny
I like
Robot,
that
with
even
fucking
better.
wraparound glasses and shit. Yeah, and the little braids.
That's the perfect combination
Kinda
of cheesy and awesome.
Yeah. But they were, they're big. They were big, but they were all on steroids. Looking back on it. I thought it was just genetic, but no, now that I'm fucking educated on the fucking chemistry, they were all on steroids. And you can see videos of those guys too, Korean Special Forces. They're fucking big. But that's because they worked out and they ate right and they fucking took the proper supplements. Okay? You can get big quickly. But I'm saying, what I'm saying is that Japanese guys, Korean guys, Chinese guys, they come up with this, we got small skeletons. Bullshit. You don't have a small skeleton. You just don't have any meat on your frame. Get in there and fucking work out. You get big quick. They can get big. They got some big Japanese. They got Chinese guys that are trying to fucking train for Olympia. Yeah, of course they're taking roids. But if you're not taking roids, you can't go to Olympia. That's a roid competition. that's
Every time you move your head, your little curls go.
Yeah. It's because I'm pretty.
Is that why?
Getting prettier. The more I drink, the prettier I get.
He's got beer goggles on himself.
Got beer goggles on his motherfucking self.
Never mind anyone else.
Hold on 1 second. See, Jenny talked me out of this wig.
I talked you out of it.
That wig's not sexual enough.
I like that wig, actually.
That wig's not sexual enough.
I like it.
I'm going.
I think you need the whole outfit, is what I think. Because I feel like with that wig, you need the whole thing to go with it, and then it would be like really, really awesome.
Going straight up fucking barbarian.
Are you really?
I'm gonna go fucking Conan with this shit, right?
Okay, he's going Conan. All right. I Feel Pretty needs to be Tom's theme song.
What's that? Yeah. Oh.
All right, so what was I talking about?
I don't know what you're talking about. Raëlians.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I forgot. I lost track.
I don't listen to you ever.
Yeah, I don't remember. I lost track.
Your shit's all crooked. Yeah, what are you even doing? Okay, there you go.
Is that right?
I mean, you should know if it's this going like this over your face, then then the part is like not.
The shit's insane, Jenny.
It's not.
It is insane. Okay, fuck it.
No, put it back on. Whoa. It looked fine. You had it.
I'm trying to see where the front and the back is. Okay, these are the sides.
Yeah.
It's got sides.
Well, yeah, it's got like I said, it's got a little clip in the back. Yeah. That's always in the back, and you just like do it underneath your.
I need to come
like at the nape of your neck.
Stop showcasing me. Stop. Go back to the topic. I'm just. Do you have a comb?
He's the one making a big fucking. There's a brush back there. There's a brush back there.
Okay, I see. I need the brush, man.
Get the brush.
I need the brush.
He makes this big huge deal. He's back there like putting his arms out, like I'm gonna get the wig. I'm gonna do this and that, and then like he yells at me, like for. I can't win.
It's all part of the show.
I can't win.
It's all part of the
Whatever I do is not right.
It's all part of the show.
Whatever I do is not right.
It's all part of the show.
So we're talking about human cloning because, like I said, that Raëlians are very, very pro science. Like I said, they're very nanotechnology, fusion, nuclear power, like anything that GMOs, anything that technology can do to make everybody's lives better. Yeah, they're all for that. Which, like I said, that's pretty cool because, like I said, usually
they're not retro.
Usually religion and science are at odds, which I think is dumb. But so they're into like genetic engineering and all that, terraforming other planets, whatnot. Now they made the news. I don't think anybody had heard of them really, like at least in the mainstream, until I think it was the early 2000s. Was it 2002? I want to say that's when their little company Clonaid came out and claimed that they had cloned the first human baby. that it was like this little girl that was born, and her name was Eve, and she was born in Israel, but conveniently they wouldn't show anybody her, and they wouldn't like give, you know, any research on it or anything, or say how they done it. Like they were like, oh well, she's just a baby and we're protecting her privacy and blah blah blah. So obviously like nobody believed it. I don't know if they actually did it or not. I don't even know. How would you even prove that? Honestly, I guess the only way you'd prove it is if you had the baby. Well, she wouldn't be a baby anymore, but if you had the baby and then the person that they cloned her from, and then they'd have the exact same DNA, but they were like different ages, that would be the only way you could prove it. Because honestly, if they were both the same age, then they would just be twins, because twins are nature's clones. But yeah. So they're also into, they want to do some shit like, did you guys see the movie Parts, the Clonus horror? It was on MST. It was made in the 70s at that point. The company in there was making clones for, like, rich people would make clones of themselves so that if they got fucked up, like if they lost a hand, for example, like Michael Caine did in that movie, then they could just cut the hand off of the clone, and then they could just sew it on you, and it wouldn't be rejected. You know, just handy dandy. But rather than just, it's funny because in the 70s, they didn't really have a concept of we could just grow a hand from your DNA, like in a petri dish or something, which they could probably do now. They had to like grow a whole person, but then they didn't want that person who was a clone knowing what was going on. So they had to keep them in this facility, and they had to give them all lobotomies so they'd be stupid and they wouldn't figure it out. And then they just had to like entertain them all the time so they wouldn't like question their lives. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's actually like a pretty entertaining movie. For one that was on MSD, it's a bad movie. I think that movie, there was a movie that came out in the 2000s. Shit, man, what was it called? Was Leonardo DiCaprio in it, I want to say? And the plot of it was almost exactly the same as Parts of the Clonus horror, and the dude that made that movie like sued them. I don't remember if he won or not, but like the story was almost exactly the same. But yes, they that one in the 70s. And then one of the clones, who was not as rock stupid as the other ones, like actually figured out what was going on and like escaped from the cloning facility and like met the person that he had been cloned from and whatnot. It was a whole thing. But yeah, so that's kind of the first time I think that people heard of the Raëlians, at least like in the mainstream, when they came out and said, hey, we cloned a person and we have this baby and she's named Eve. But like I said, they wouldn't show any proof, so no one really believed them. Everyone just thought they were full of shit. Although, like I said, it's not that crazy to think of. I mean, they had cloned Dolly, like the sheep at that point. And you know, so it's not impossible. They haven't really.
The problem with cloning humans is that you got to be real cold-hearted.
Yeah.
Because you got to make about 300 or 400 clones. All right. A lot of them will never be born. And then some of them will be born. You might have about 10 of them that'll be born. But out of that 10, most of them will be fucked up. They'll be dead soon. They'll have imperfections, weird cancers and problems. So you have to kill those, basically. It's just like dog breeding. Then you might end up with 2. You might want to let those live for about 10 years until they're about 10 years old, and you go, this one right here is fucked up. It's going to have fucking weird adrenal problems. Part of the DNA is fucked up. Kill that one. This one here might live to about 40. Here, take this one. That's what you wanted. And then you sell that one to the person. You had to be real fucking cold-blooded.
This is the good one.
This is the good one. Because you have to make a bunch of them. It's a fucking... And then pick the best one. Because there's too much of an error rate.
Well, that's the thing about... Like, you know, they can clone sheep and stuff like that, which, you know, they've been doing...
And they were all born fucked up.
Well, and they've been... they've been doing animal breeding for thousands of years, but it's just kind of like there's always that roulette that you're doing. Because genetics is not an exact science. There's always anomalies. There's always mutations. You can't predict what exactly... Like, you could put the perfect... whatever, like, in there, and still, like, fortune's gonna throw some wild card in the fucking mix.
Probably the safest way to do it is fucking take a woman and get about 10 of her eggs. And then, man, the husband that you want, or whatever, the donor that you want, You have him fucking bust a load, and then you go underneath the microscope and get like 10 of the healthiest fucking sperm that you can see that look fine.
Look at that one's women.
Right, and then you impregnate all those
He's
fucking
frisky.
little eggs. And then you let them grow in an artificial womb and you watch them. And then you let them be born and try to figure out which one is the best one. All right? And it might be that you might want to let them fucking live for about 5 to 10 years and then look at them and go, this is the good one. Okay, and then get rid of the rest of them.
I think that one might be a serial killer.
Yeah.
Let's get rid of that.
Well, that would be the best way to get a healthy product. It would be close to a clone, but now it wouldn't be a clone. It would be close to a genetic engineering. It would be highly selective breeding. That's what that would be.
Yeah.
The woman, if the woman's even, sometimes a woman doesn't even, if she wants to have a perfect child, she doesn't even want her genome involved. She could select an egg donor from a woman that she says, I want the woman to look more like this. You know
Yeah,
what I
because
mean?
it's like, Jesus, I wouldn't saddle some kid with like fucking
Right, yeah.
with my
I want it to
problem.
look like this. And then I want the father to look more like this.
I don't want the
And
kid to
then-
have my fat ass.
Right. And then you might be able to kind of like have a computer algorithm that would generate what the probabilities of 10 children would look like if they were all male or female, because you're controlling the sex.
Yeah.
See? And you let them be born, and once they get to a certain age, you judge one, you go, this is the closest to what we wanted. We'll take this one. The rest of them, kill these. Yeah.
Or adopt them out. Like
Adopt
just
them
like-
out, but now you're making...
like when your cat has like a load of kittens.
Not everybody can be doing that, because now you're making extra people.
Yeah.
All right? That you're talking about genetic engineering or selective breeding. You're trying to create a person. You're not trying to create a whole bunch of people, just one. And that's how they would do it. I'm saying it's very, very inhumane.
Yeah.
And this is how dogs are bred. Whole litters are born and they'll kill the whole litter except one. A lot of people don't know that. But in real hardcore dog breeding, they kill most of the puppies.
Yeah, they kill puppies. You
Yeah,
guys.
they kill the little puppies. Go, these don't have what we're looking for. This one is closer. Okay, now breed that one with this one, and eventually we'll get there. And that was how they did all that shit fucking back in the honky motherland back in the 1700s to breed these cattle bigger. They're like, let's eat these. We'll breed this one. Eat these. We'll breed this one. They were doing the same thing with the dogs. They were accelerating the evolution.
Yeah.
You got to be cold-blooded, though.
Yeah.
And that can only happen on a farm. Because they're cold-blooded on a farm. It's all food. You know what I mean? Yeah, let the cows grow and we'll let them in about 6 months we'll eat them. So they weren't wasting the meat.
Burgers on the hoof.
We're going to have veal today. Because this how a cow's not worth breeding. It doesn't have what we're looking for. You know, that kind of shit.
Yeah, Scott said the movie I was thinking about was The Island. That's it, from 2005. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the one that was almost exactly the same plot of Parts of the Clonosaur. And then Camp Guy said, like in Raising Arizona, I think I got the best damn one. Nathan Jr., I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the best one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All that.
I love that movie.
all that eugenics and human engineering is shit to me. It's all cold-blooded.
Scott says, till 10 years old, then trial by combat.
Yeah. It's not, well, the Spartans were like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. The kid had to go through an initial inspection. If he was no good, they threw his ass away. You know, and then he had to be raised outside to a certain period, and then he had to come back. He had to live as a bum, basically.
Victor said, sell them to Amazon so they can be put to work.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Phil says, I saw a show where the mother artificially inseminated her own daughter. How gross.
Wow.
Wait, so the daughter was what, infertile? And so the mother, contributed her eggs to the daughter? Which I guess...
I don't understand. Yeah.
That would be pretty
Yeah,
weird.
it's weird, yeah.
I mean...
But I guess because the blood types and closer...
Yeah, I can
match
see,
and-
if one was infertile and they're
Yeah.
like, yeah, we need a close relative that'll,
Yeah.
but still, that'd be a little weird.
Yeah.
I'm giving birth to my own grandkids.
Yeah.
Genetics, it's fucked up. But yeah, so what else? So the Raëlians, other than being very pro science, like I said, very pro technology, very cloning, they're into cloning. They're also very anti-war, very anti-violence. They're really, really into that, and also real into nudity, like nudists. and real into free love. Like I said, we'd get to that eventually. So they think that pretty much their only belief system, or at least as far as to hear them tell it, is that that's kind of like the only rule is just love everybody. So it's just that kind of thing. Now, I don't know if this is true or not, but I did see this referred to in like one documentary that I saw about them. But apparently when they have get-togethers, and I've heard this about some other groups as well, when they have get-togethers, they have all these different colored like armbands, and that's saying like who you're open to have sex with, like what genders. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like, so
you barcode it out.
Yeah, so you barcode it so everybody knows it's hey, I'm open to this, that, and the other thing. Yeah. And then so everybody is on the same page.
Evidently, that's what nail polish color was all about. Did you know that?
Is it really? Well, yeah. Am I in trouble because my nail polish is green? What does that mean?
I always heard that in the 1800s...
I just did it green so it would match my neck.
I always heard that in 1800s England, nail polish color was really just... a way of finding out what she was selling.
That's interesting.
It was color coded.
It's just kind of like back in the old days, like with the skinhead. Well, back in the old days, back in the 80s, the 70s and 80s with skinheads, and they all had like the different colored laces in their boots,
right? Like
that meant whatever. Yeah, I don't remember what all the code
I don't know
was.
if that's true. That's just what I heard. I wasn't there.
Well, I don't know if the color coded bracelets is true or not.
Right.
But I have heard it, and like some of the Raëlians did say it, like on the documentary, that like when they go to conferences or they go to like group get-togethers or whatever, they have like, it's kind of like, but like I said, it's kind of like, in a way, they're pretty chill because they're all about, they don't like really care like if you're straight or gay or married or not married, or if you want to be a total hoe, or it's like orgy time. They're just kind of like, as long as everyone's having a good time and everyone's consenting, then they don't really have a problem with it, which is interesting because that's like cool with me, but that has gotten them into trouble in some countries. Like some countries don't want them to come in because there's like, oh, they're, because they have a thing too where I think they got in trouble, I can't remember what country it was in, but they got in trouble for passing out condoms at a Catholic high school, which like I said, I don't honestly have a problem with that. It's a high school, But the Catholics were not happy, obviously, because, I mean, you're passing out a condom. You're not making the person use it. You're not like, hey, I'm going to make you have sex with somebody. They're like, here, if you need this.
Catholicism, no sex until marriage. No sex. No sex until marriage.
Hey, poor. Yeah. It's that whole thing. So in a way, I can kind of... I don't know. They're just like real chill with all kind of like I said, as long as they don't seem to be like doing like underage shit or anything like that. It's, maybe they are, but I haven't heard anything about it.
Where's their headquarters?
I don't know if they really have one, to be honest with you.
Roswell, huh?
No.
Okay.
Well, it was formed in France, and that's where I don't want to say that's where most of their followers are, but
it'd be awesome if it was in Roswell.
Maybe they should move it there.
Over at the Little Alien Inn. Remember the Little Alien Inn, right outside Roswell? They had that damn fucking 2-bit fucking bar and fucking hotel called the Little Alien Inn.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, is that still there? Anybody that's been to Roswell lately? Anybody been in New Mexico? I've been in New Mexico. I didn't go to Roswell though. I went to Santa Fe. But yeah. So apparently, like I said, they go to they have retreats. They all walk around naked. And some of the people, it's not like one of those, because you know how there's a thing where, when you get like a get together of nudists and it's all like a bunch of people you wouldn't want to, no one would want to see naked.
Yeah, like put your clothes back on.
Oh yeah, it's just kind of like, okay, my eyes. But you know what I mean? But it does seem like a lot of these people are kind of young and hot. So I think that's kind of why they got a lot of, which in a way I can understand, because it's a religion in the sense that we believe that the Bible is true, but only as far as everybody it's aliens.
Aliens, yeah.
But other than that, it seems like amazingly chill. They don't seem real uptight about
Sounds like a fucking scene to me.
Yeah, they don't seem super uptight about you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't. They don't really seem to have like a list of like commandments as such.
Okay.
They don't really seem to have a thing where let's go out and convert people. They don't really seem to have anything like that. It just kind of
sounds more like a clique.
Yeah, it doesn't. So in a way, it's almost kind of like I was reading this kind of really in-depth article about it. It was like not even an article. It was like a really long paper. And they were kind of like debating. They're like, well, we don't know if we can call this a cult necessarily, because usually, you know, the definition of a cult would be charismatic leader, which this does have. But also there have to be like a bunch of other parameters. It usually has to be, you know, people that are in cults, they usually cut you off from your outside sources, like, you know, you can't work or you can't talk to your family or blah, 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 or whatever. So it tries to isolate you. The leader is usually trying to take advantage of other people in the group, either sexually or taking all their money or both. It's usually, or, you know, and you can't leave. There's all kind of like rules or like kind of shit about leaving. And, you know, it's very, you know, they have an attitude of very us against them. Like the world is evil and we can't go out in it. So it's kind of like, but it doesn't seem like this really has that. But then in another way, they were talking about, well, is this a religion then? And in some ways it is. They call themselves a religion. But I don't know if it is, because a lot of definitions of religion have to do with, you know, essentially you have like a supernatural being who is watching over you and like gives you a list of things to do or not do or whatever, which this has to an extent in that, you know, the aliens are technologically superior to us. But from everything that Raël has written, like in his books, he doesn't seem to be saying that we should worship the aliens. They are just other beings that happen to be more technologically advanced who are willing to be cool and help us out. So let's do something to help them out, like build their embassy and try to get our shit together on Earth so they can come here and hang with us. Other than that, it doesn't really seem like he's trying to... You know, he's not really saying the aliens say that you can't touch yourself, or so, you know, he's not doing anything like that. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like, you know, Jesus watches you while you jerk off kind of thing. It's nothing like that.
Jesus watching you.
Right. So it seems like a lot less. But then on the other hand, and I was like reading something, I think it was on Skeptoid or Skeptics Dictionary or something like that. And they were kind of saying the same thing. They were kind of like, well, as religions go, it seems pretty chill and like pretty cool and everything. But if you're going to just let people, you know, have sex with who they want and, you know, drink and be other religions if they want to be and believe what they want, as long as everybody's cool, then it's like, then why even bother having the alien shit on top of it? Yeah. Like, just do what you want and don't worry about the aliens.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seems like another layer that doesn't need to be there. But I don't. Maybe it's just the people that, well, we like to party, but we also like aliens. Yeah. So that's the religion for you.
What it sounds like to me.
It just really does kind of seem like that. They also have something called. I was gonna say too that apparently because there is there's an offshoot. I don't know if they're still around. But there is kind of an organization that's called Raël's Girls, and these are all porn stars, all women, and they're all Raëlians, but they're kind of trying to spread the message of like sex positivity, but also you can be spiritual in the sense of belonging to a religion, even if it's one as loosely defined as this one, and still get your freak on.
They're saying that I'm prettier than
without
Cher.
Being guilty. You what?
They're saying that I'm prettier than Cher.
You're prettier than Cher.
Yeah, they're saying I'm turning back time. Look at all that bullshit they're fucking saying.
If I could turn back time.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm fucking doing my hair. They say I'm start braiding it and shit. I'm trying to fix the shit. Trying to get this fucking silky, straight, smooth, fucking heavy metal fucking hair.
I can't believe you've been over this whole time I'm talking. He's over there brushing his hair.
Trying to get some fucking sexy ass heavy metal hair. Okay. There we go.
Now, do you see that those of us that had really long hair, like in real life, not just
I'm
a
ready
wig?
To fucking join fucking Ozzy's band.
Are you really?
Yeah.
See, it's a pain in the ass. It's a pain in the ass.
Fucking right, man.
You look like I said, you look like a human version of like the animated dudes in Death Clock.
Yeah,
that's
what. Never seen it.
That's what you look like. Look at how fine Tom is, y'all. You just don't understand all that sexiness.
I'm fucking gorgeous, man. I'm fucking gorgeous.
Oh my god. So what I was gonna say, that, like I said, they have like a large following in Japan particularly, and also in South Korea. But apparently,
yeah, they'd be into that shit there.
Yeah, but apparently because of that, I guess you got your sexual tourists. You know how people do. I'm gonna go to a country where maybe some shit's illegal that's not legal in my country. You know what I mean? So they'll do that. But I guess like some tourists have twigged on to the fact that some Raëlians will they'll pretend to be a Raëlian and go to one of their like meetings because they know that they'll get laid and they won't have to pay anybody, and it won't be like, having sex with some back alley sex worker and getting a disease or something. I'm just saying that's kind of like what the perception is. So it's just kind of like, hey, I'm a Raëlian too. Woo, the aliens are coming. Let's all have a big free love like fuck pile now. Yeah. And that's how it goes. But like I said, as long as everybody's willing to do it, I don't know. I really don't see a problem with it. I have to say. Like I said, it seems like no one's being coerced to do anything. Which to me, that's kind of the whole thing.
What time is it?
It is 8:10 p.m.
Okay, are we at the halfway part?
Well, yeah. I mean, there's a bunch of shit in here that I kind of already
have any
that I already kind of covered. Oh, I do actually have a commercial. Yeah,
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I should probably go to the bathroom now.
Why don't you go ahead and take a break? Why don't you go ahead and take a break? Run the commercial.
Are you gonna mess it up?
How am I gonna mess it up? I don't mess anything up. Everything that I do is fucking perfection.
Is it?
Fucking perfection. We're not gonna worry about it. Where's the commercial?
It's right there. It's Strange Realities ad 2021.
Okay.
And then go back, and then go. It's about a minute, and then you go back to main full screen.
Okay. In 2019, the first Strange Realities conference took place in Nashville, Tennessee. The pandemic and turmoil the following year could not stop 2020's conference from thriving in cyberspace as a live streaming event. Now, for 2021, the third annual Strange Realities conference will combine these worlds into a paranormal hybrid event, live in person in Nashville and streaming online. Join us in exploring just how truly strange our reality can be with an interdimensional lineup of speakers presenting unique and intellectual perspectives on magic, mysteries, and the paranormal.
Featuring Alan Greenfield, Dr. J. Michael Bennett, a.k.a. Dr. Future, Tim Banal, Soraya Ascaf, Dr. Stephen Finley, Aaron Gullius, Amy Pachula, Brent Rains, Chris Ernst, Heather Mosier, Michael Hughes, Jose Herrera, Joshua Cutchin, Kiki Dombrowski, Nathan Isaac, P.D. Newman, Steven Snyder, a.k.a. Recluse, David Metcalf, Timothy Renner, Steve Stockton, and Bren Collier. Tickets available at strangerealities.com.
It's going to be amazing.
And we are back. And I'm in the captain's chair. Let's see what everybody else is doing. I'm going to come over here. Jenny will be back in a second. We're just taking a break. Getting all this fucking beautiful hair out of my damn face. Here she is.
Where'd you think I was?
Pookie's
out there sitting with her. What did she do over here?
She fucking threw all your shit on the floor and laid down with it.
Look at all of this.
Yeah. All right.
She made a huge mess. For such a small cat, she sure does. She sure does make a big fucking mess. Yeah. I forgot to say too. I'm boldly going where no wig has gone before. Yeah. So, are we going to be in Nashville for that conference? Probably not. God, I haven't been in Nashville since I was a little kid. Flip the hair, Tom.
I am flipping it.
You are.
Let's get in my face. Yeah. Stop showcasing. Yeah. Stop.
I think it's funny because, when I wear long ass wigs all the time, because he's like, oh, you look good with long hair. So I wear that, and like all night I'm like, oh Jesus. And it's like falling in my drink and getting caught in my jewelry and shit like that. I'm like, yeah, see, it's not fun, is it? And he can only wear it for like an hour or two, and he's like, man, fuck this, it's too hot. Yeah. I know. Sometimes I have to wear that for hours and hours. Tila says, Tom, Spock is looking over your shoulder like you're crazy brushing that wig. Spock is not amused.
He's over in the mirror universe.
He is, yeah.
He's going to get ready to use the agonizer on me.
He's judging. He's always judging. Judging.
Yeah, he's like,
always.
Ensign Ross, your agonizer, please. yeah. Give me your agonizer. I love that episode.
I do too.
Yeah.
Well, like I said,
I like the sequel to that episode too, which is on fucking Star Trek Continues. If you guys haven't seen Star Trek Continues, man, it's free on YouTube. It's fucking in HD. That's real Star Trek for me. I love Star Trek Continues. It's the final season of that. Because when that shit went off the air, they just left. And then Star Trek the motion picture started. You're like, what the fuck happened to Spock? Why was Spock back on Vulcan? All that shit is answered in that final season. And a lot of same people that fucking worked on the old series worked on Star Trek Continues, man. That's real Star Trek. Yeah.
What I was going to say was that MST also did a Mirror episode. They did like a parody of that.
Yeah.
And that's why, so every time you say, give me your agonizer, please, it cracks me up. Because Mike did that as well.
That was one of the most dramatic fucking scenes
Mike was on the was in Deep 13 and he had a goatee and he looked all evil.
Well, check this out. They're going to
That was so funny.
Check this out. They're going to agonize you. Okay?
Yeah.
They're going to agonize you with the technology. But you have to carry your own agonizer. Ain't that some shit?
Yeah, you gotta like...
Yeah.
That's it. That'd be like in the old days when you had to carry your own switch.
Yeah.
They'd take you out behind the outhouse.
Yeah, right. You carry your own agonizer. Okay, hand me your agonizer.
Now turn around.
Damn.
Pat, pat, pat.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So also since we're talking about the whole free love, sex orgy thing, they also have something called sensual meditation. And Raël himself has written a book called Sensual Meditation, which you can read online. And I read some little pieces of it, and it's delightful. So probably you should go read it.
Amanda's a Star Trek Continued fan. She was with Vic Mignogna. Mignogna, love that gorgeous man. I like Vic. Vic is fucking awful. Oh, he's cool. He's real cool. And look, there's only two fucking Captain Kirks. Well, there's one Captain Kirk. That's William Shatner. All right, that was his role. But Vic Mignogna. That's how you say it, right? Mignogna. I can't fucking say that motherfucker's name. Vic is the best Kirk that isn't William Shatner. It's real close, and he's not doing a Shatner impersonation. It's just he's just doing Captain Kirk, and it just after a couple episodes you're like, yeah, that's Kirk. Yeah,
I kind of forgot after a while.
He has a slightly different spin on it, but not really different. He doesn't. It's not a different spin. It's just he's not doing a William Shatner impersonation. You'll see.
Phil says, William Shatner actually put an album out. Yes, he did. He spoke the songs. Yeah, it was. Well, there was one that was like kind of famous. Yeah. He was kind of doing covers of sort of well-known songs.
He did Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds.
He did. That was the one that I remember the most.
Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. That shit was terrible, man.
Yeah. Well, he could. Yeah, but it's funny for like its ironic value.
Yeah.
Tila said, "Is it real or a joke?" Because I would want to hear that. Yeah. No, it's real.
It's real.
Well, Leonard Nimoy put out an album as well. Which the song I remember the most about that was the one about the Hobbit.
Yeah.
Which
and they put these out in the 60s when
it's it's cringy, but also it's kind of awesome. I don't know.
And they put these out in the 60s. I think it was right after the show went off the air. Wasn't it right after they went off the air, or maybe
not too long after?
Yeah, shit was terrible.
It was, but I kind of appreciate it for its ironic entertainment value. Was William Shatner ever in on the joke of William Shatner?
Yeah.
I kind of feel like he was, but then sometimes... Have you guys seen... What the fuck was that movie? A Christmas Horror Story? That anthology?
Yeah.
Like that Christmas horror movie? And the wraparound was William Shatner, who was playing a radio DJ, and he got drunker and drunker as the course of the movie went on, and it was just like he was so fucking good in that. So seeing him in that like really kind of cemented my feeling that he's kind of in on the William Shatner
asking,
joke.
Why is it everybody on the whole cast of that show despised William Shatner. I don't know if they despised him. It's just that they fucking were sick of his shit. All right. Yeah.
Well, he seemed very much like
he thought he was the captain.
Yeah.
He thought they worked for him.
Right. Which
he thought he was their captain.
That would get real old.
That shit went to his fucking head.
That would get real old.
He would they'd be in between scenes and he'd be barking orders at people like he was the captain. And they were like, "Bitch, I don't work for you. I work for the studio." You know.
Nimoy, come and get me some coffee.
Yeah.
And he'd be like,
yeah, he thought he was Captain Kirk.
Go get it yourself if your arms aren't broken, as my dad used to
say. But no, he was in on the joke. Fucking the Shat knew that he was fucking out of control. Just see,
he does have some self-awareness.
Yeah, he knew.
And then DJ Maniac said Glenn Danzig isn't even in on the joke about him.
No,
he's not. But like I said, and neither is Steven Seagal. That's another thing that we've talked about. You can be as obnoxious as you want, as long as you're self-aware enough to know that you're obnoxious, and like if people call you out on it and like make a joke about it, you roll with the joke. The second you become an insufferable douchebag is when you're like that, but you don't realize that you're like that, and like you're like that seriously. Yeah. And when people make fun of you, you get like all butthurt about it. That's the difference.
Yeah. The Shat knows that he's the Shat, though. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He just tries to play it off like he doesn't know, but he knows exactly what it is. Yeah. He just tries to play it off.
Mango said he even admits now that his ego was a tad big back then.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's what everybody.
He thought he was the captain. See.
Can you imagine? Like just being one of a bunch of actors, like working on some shit.
Yeah, and you got this other actor.
And then you got this other actor who's just the same as motherfucker as you. He's like, "Hey, I was a waiter a week ago. Fuck off." And he's just like ordering you around, he's like your fucking boss or something.
He was in the Captain Kirk role, fucking all the whole time.
Yeah, I'd be like, "How about you grab a ladder and jump up my butt?" But it'd be that whole kind of situation. So I can see how that might rub people the wrong way. Sure. Yeah. But yeah, the bitchiness between them, I kind of feel like that made the show better.
Well, there was a triad going on. It was Kirk, Spock, and Bones. Those motherfuckers ran that whole show eventually. By the time season 2 came around, the show was focused on those 3 characters. And you have one dude who's a fucking brave leader who's fucking real impulsive and emotional. That's Kirk. And then you got this fucking cold, calculating, fucking logical guy who sometimes gives in to his emotions. That's Spock. And then you got fucking Bones McCoy, who's this totally fucking flawed human who's just, how dare you? He's cussing them both out all the time, Fucking who's totally emotional. You're just a robot, He's saying that shit to fucking your Vulcan mind. You must be out of your Vulcan mind, Shit like that. Shit, I'm a doctor. I'm not a bricklayer. Just shit like that.
Gramthars Hammer said Galaxy Quest is a perfect parody of Star Trek. It absolutely was. Actually, Galaxy Quest is so good. We actually got it. Somebody sent it to us on Blu-ray, so we need to do like a matinee on that one of these days because I really like that movie. I always kind of feel like Spock is kind of my spirit animal. I feel Spock's pain, but I feel like I have I'm a little bit of Bones as well. Like I kind of feel like Spock and Bones together are kind of like, that's my deal. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what I'm like. Cause I love how fucking, cranky Bones is. Cause I'm cranky like that too. Yeah. Seagal actually threw a guy in a pool for asking him about his being a cop. When I was scrolling through Tubi the other day, I saw that the Steven Seagal Lawman show is on there on Tubi. And I was like, do I dare?
Steven Seagal Lawman.
I don't know if I could sit through a whole episode of that.
Yeah, he walks around fucking pretending that he's black.
Yeah, I'm not sure what.
Yeah.
It's just
he got that Michigan accent.
I kind of wanted to watch it, and then I was kind of like, do I really hate myself that much? Is this how low I've sunk?
He's down in Louisiana. He tries to turn that Michigan accent into Ebonics every time he's dealing with a fucking black guy. Man, I'm trying to tell you, Holmes, that, he's like, wait a minute, hold on. Are we in L.A. or are we in fucking Louisiana?
Oh, my God, I wish I'd been there, and I'd be like, man. Excuse me, I speak jive.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have got that joke either.
No. He's up in Russia.
He's so lame.
He's escaped charges. He's up in Russia.
Victor says Spock is my spirit animal by proxy because Jenny is my spirit animal.
Who said that?
Victor did.
Yeah.
I'm really someone's spirit animal? That's
Yeah.
neat. But yeah, I just kind of like... See, that's why I love it. See, I love that Sophie got me that Spock back there because like every day I'm in here working and I can look behind and I'm like, Spock, he's judging me. But it's like, that's kind of what my face looks like all the time too. So I get it. So look, can we talk about, like I said, the sensual the little sensual meditation? Yeah. Like I said, there's not like a huge amount about this. I'm just kind of like blue skying about the shit. But
hold on, Gramthars said that he saw Steven Seagal once at the SHOT Show in Vegas and do his massive. Yeah, but he's fucking fat though.
Massive as in like
he is
like
tall, but he's
bulky
fat.
Or just a big fat guy because we know he's a big fat guy.
He's fat.
Yeah, well, like I said, he's getting to the point now where they can't even like fit his entire fucking fat ass in the frame, so it's like they just show him from the neck up.
He's got a stunt double to go up and down the stairs for him.
Yeah.
When he's got to stand up and walk out of a room, they got a stunt double for that.
Bitch, what was that movie we watched the other day? Where it's like he had a stunt double, like the stunt double walked out on the balcony and looked out the balcony, and they didn't even try to like pretend that wasn't him.
No, it wasn't him. That easily wasn't him. Every time they're showing him,
even though it was supposed to be him, but it so clearly was not.
Spirit animal charge. You got a $10 super chat from Victor. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
I mean, every time they show
Spirit animal surcharge.
In all the newer Seagal movies that I was fucking looked at, I didn't watch them. I looked at it because they're unwatchable. Fucking
I like that. Now next time I see a movie that I can't I looked at it.
I looked at it. Yeah. They're unwatchable.
It didn't really like penetrate.
They'll have him sitting down, and there's always something in front of him, so all you see is his head. And he's talking,
and it's a big old head, just big old head.
This and that. And he's supposed to be in these fucking badass mercenary groups with all these fucking mercenaries doing fucking dangerous shit somewhere.
Mercenary shit.
Like what kind of mercenary? And they're in fucking. I'm like, dude, you're like 20 years out of date for being a fucking frontline mercenary where you're out there fucking gacking motherfuckers. That's a young man's game for the most part.
Well, for 20 years and 200 pounds.
Yeah, probably. And I'm like, nah. And then like all the other dudes that are serving with him, nah. 40s and 50s, and that's a wrap. Okay, here's something to fucking... Arnold played a mercenary in Predator 1. That was a whole team of mercenaries going there to save some SF guys. They were ex-SF guys. Or at least Dutch was. Arnold, I think, was 42 at the time. He fucking looked great for 42. Could a 42-year-old that looked like that do that? Fucking right they could. A 52-year-old that looked like that could do that. But not fucking Steven Seagal. No.
He needs to like knock off the ho-hos if he really wants to.
Actually, that first or maybe second Expendables could what's his name? Could fucking what am I thinking of? That dude's name. Dude from Rambo. Sylvester Stallone. Yeah.
What's that fucker's name? Just call him Rambo. I didn't know who you meant.
Yeah. Could Sylvester Stallone pulled off that mission out of Expendables 1 and 2? Yeah, probably. He was in real good shape. Could he have done that in fucking that fucking badass Rambo movie where he shot all those dudes up? His face is fucked up, but no, he was in great shape. He could have done that. But no, not Steven Seagal. Fuck no.
I'm just saying. It's just,
no.
That
dude's sitting around his house, going into the pool full of Asian experience. You got an Asian girl in the pool, he's fucking pouring the shit out. You know I like my Asian experience, baby. Come here, baby.
She's like, yeah, no thanks.
You know I love you.
His pool's full of Twinkies. Come on.
Yeah. You know I love you. I always gotta have an Asian experience, baby. Yeah, that's
I couldn't believe, I saw that and I couldn't believe it was real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I was just kind of like, wow.
You're blowing my fucking mind. Do you know how much a fucking can of Asian experience unopened goes for now on eBay?
Well, yeah.
It's like $200.
People love the fucking... It's irony value. It's irony value. Like I said, the dude from Cinemassacre...
Yeah.
Not James, not the main dude, but one of the dudes that was on the, on the video reviews or whatever. he is a big ironic fan of Steven Seagal, and like not in like he's bought like every single Steven Seagal thing like in existence, and he bought a can of it off eBay that was still unopened, and he drank it on the show, and it was like super funny. Oh, goody, we have another troll.
Oh, it's the same one.
It's probably the same one. Oh my God, get a life, y'all. Yeah. But it's just, I don't know. It's the first time I saw that, I don't know. A lot of Steven Seagal stuff I just can't believe. I don't know. It makes my skin crawl. Because there's no sense of like, I'm being ridiculous right now. Like if he had a sense of I'm being ridiculous right now, it would be hilarious. But because he doesn't have that, it just comes across as like really cringy and embarrassing. And it's like I have like secondhand embarrassment, so I can't watch it. You know what I mean? It's really like difficult for me to watch. Yeah. So what were we talking about? Oh, sensual meditation. Yeah. Steven Seagal would know all about that. He's sensually meditating with his Asian experience stuff. Yeah. So they have these seminars. Like I said, Raël wrote a book about it. This is another thing that the aliens apparently told him to do. Because I guess, so they do these seminars, they're like 2 weeks long, and they have them all over the world every year. And they kind of, I guess it's basically like a big fuck fest. They're not doing sensual meditation. It's just like a big orgy, I guess. These are one of the places where they wear the fucking bands or whatever to let everybody know what's going on. So I guess the whole point of this is this is what the website says. It says sensual meditation is designed to rectify the many inconsistent values conditioned by our present society by teaching people to start questioning all their values and consequent actions so as to be able to decondition oneself, uninhibit oneself, that's very important, and appreciate the present in a much deeper way, enjoying every sensation with a maximum of pleasure and love without the paralysis of society's guilt. So it's meant to exercise and develop the senses. Somebody mentioned Sting doing the tantric sex earlier. That's kind of the same
somebody brought that
thing.
up. I've talked about that before on the show. Fucking Sting. Sting needs to get over their fucking self. It's so funny what fame would do to certain people of the 80s. Fame would fuck a motherfucker up. Just look at Sting. He went mainstream as a motherfucker, running around in his damn pajamas, fucking singing to middle-aged women and shit. Shame on that dude.
Well, that's where the money is.
You have to understand, I'm very cool, and I'm spiritual. Me and you. We're gonna burn candles and sit down and drink tantric sex. I love you, even though you're overweight, baby. It's just all kinds of weird shit, you know. Play some music to you. That was Sting's gig, man. Fucking after all that shit.
I'm a very not. The second somebody comes at me from that angle of spiritual, this and that and the other, I'm just like, bye. You know what I mean? It's just like, I don't know. I can't hang with that.
Yeah.
I can't hang with people that are. I'm not saying that I don't like. Because I do like people that are honest, and I like people that are earnest and geeky about things. I don't mind that. But this whole thing about I don't know, that whole new agey thing. Yeah. That's why, as much as I read about this cult, or religion or whatever, it's because I don't think it's necessarily a cult. But as much as I read about it, I said, well, they seem pretty cool. They have they don't have any horrible beliefs or anything. Not really. They have a couple that are kind of what, kind of questionable. But they're kind of a one world government type of thing, which I don't know about that. But but most of their shit is fine. But even then, I don't know. I was watching the documentary and I said, would I really want to hang out with these people? No.
Yeah.
No, I just wouldn't. Yeah. It just seemed like it would get on my nerves because for the same way that I wouldn't want to hang out with Steven Seagal because he doesn't have a sense of humor about himself. You can't chill.
Actually, I would just fucking want to. Yeah, I would hang out with Seagal just so I could get some material, but I couldn't hang out with fucking Sting. Sting seemed to be pretty cool up until he was maybe in his mid-late 30s.
Because I love the Police, man.
Yeah, the Police were really... But it seemed like the older he got, just the more up his own ass he went. He's one of the...
Yeah, pro tip, please don't vanish up your own ass.
He just vanished up his own
No
ass.
matter how rich and famous you may get.
Well, it gets...
You're still just a lowly motherfucker who...
You sing and you play music.
Yes, don't get some inflated sense of you're some spiritual being or something.
Yeah, it was him and Bono. Him and Bono.
Well, Bono's worse.
Just up their own asses like, poof, dude, you turned inside out. You just look at a bunch of veins. Veins and mucous membrane. Where the fuck?
You just turned completely inside out.
And I think that came from hanging out with too many goddamn rich people. There's something.
Well, I kind of...
Something.
I don't know. Like, I don't know from experience, obviously, because I've always been a broke dick motherfucker. But I kind of feel like having so much money would just like insulate you from everything. I mean, it would really insulate you from...
I think those two guys went into echelons above reality. They ended up...
That's what I'm saying.
They just ended up hanging out in people's fucking private yachts and private...
You don't have to, like, do anything that you don't want to do.
Right, yeah. They go into... They end up on...
Mind-blowing.
They end up on Mount Olympus, basically. And then they're talking down to you and about all this spiritual shit. They're going to save the world by the power of the fucking fingers and the strings in their guitars. Send me fucking money. I need a couple more million and I'll feed these people over here, over in Africa. I'll take 90%. We won't talk about that. But, you know, and the shit trickles down to giving a fucking little African kid a little fucking peppermint. You got it. Yeah, thank you. You gave me millions of dollars. They got a peppermint, you know. I don't give it to none of those fucking charities. They're all rip-offs.
I mean, I don't know. It's
saw a show on what those charities, how much they actually charge, how much of that actually makes it to the ground on what they're talking about is like 1%.
I mean, it depends on 1%. The one. You really have to be careful about the ones you list, because a lot of them...
Scams.
Well, yeah, a lot of them are in the sense that, you know, a large percentage goes to, like, administrative costs and shit like that.
Or overheads. I got to pay my bills.
And things like that, which, you know, I don't know. It's just, as I said, I've never been a rich person, and I'm not saying that if I won the fucking lottery tomorrow, I wish, but if I did, like, would I vanish up my own ass?
Yeah.
You know? I don't know. I kind of feel like I wouldn't, but then everybody says that.
It's too late to vanish up your own ass.
Maybe I'm too old and cranky to like vanish up my own ass. If it had happened to me when I was young, maybe. Yeah. But
those guys vanished up their own asses while they were in their late 20s.
Yeah.
So they were never seen again.
No one knows where they are.
Nobody knows where that motherfucker is. Just never seen again. Vanished up his own ass. Turned inside out. If you see a two-legged thing that's pink with a bunch of veins in it and fucking slime on the outside, they turned upside down. They turned inside out on their own asses. They were inverted. Fucking crazy shit. But
I'm one of those people. I just feel like, and I'm not saying it. I don't know. I kind of feel like don't be like so down on yourself that you think like you suck forever, because like I've had problems with that. But on the other side of that coin, don't be a person that thinks you're like more awesome than everyone else, because you're not.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like a really hard balance to strike.
And I also gotta fucking say though that fucking U2 is great. It was a great band, and so was the Police. And Sting solo was fucking great.
Yeah, and I'm not shitting on those two bands, because actually I really love those two bands. Yeah, they were good. I mean, they're not world saving good, but who is? Yeah. Nobody.
And they were products of the media of their time.
Yeah.
Because, you know what I mean? Everything was channeled through just a few channels and a few radio stations. And the powers that could pick a man and turn them into a superstar. And then that would really go to your head, because I guess if you were that man, you thought that was all, like, natural. Of course I'm the shit. No, it's actually very unnatural.
Everyone's saying so.
Yeah, right, yeah. But if you were to open it up today with like an internet and YouTube and shit, your ass would fucking vanish. Because of competition. It's broadband now.
In a way, I don't... There's some things I don't like the way the media is nowadays, but it's like, in a way, it's kind of better now. I think it's harder.
Everybody has a chance.
Well, one, everybody has a chance. And two, I feel like you're not as insulated from the public as you used to be. Because I feel like even famous people, if you have like a Twitter account or a Facebook or something like that, you are going to get tons of people telling you that you suck.
Right.
And you know what I mean? So, yeah, in a way, that's kind of like balancing. It maybe kind of keeps you like a little more.
Here's another thing. They can't be on Mount Olympus anymore. That will fucking cost you your career. Look what happened to fucking Gina Carano from The Mandalorian. Fucking, there was an interwar went on between her and people in Disney, and they kicked her out. But she went right to YouTube and fucking went right to her fans and ended up fucking being on people's fucking podcasts. And people loved her. She's fucking just a nice fucking chick. She's fucking fun, you know. She got her fucking job back. Because people aren't special anymore. Everybody is fucking in the same game now. It's not like it was.
Well, and everybody is special in their own way. Like,
right.
Everybody's an individual.
Right.
Everybody has something they can offer. Maybe most people.
And if you're a fucking star, everybody's kind of a star on YouTube in a certain way. But if you're one of these Hollywood stars, you better be able to have the skills to go on YouTube and go on the damn podcasts that talk about your movies. And get down in the trenches with the people. And if you can't compete in that realm, you're not going to be a star for very long. Because your social media presence is what dictates if you're a star or not. It's not like it back in the old days where you could just be pretty on camera. Because they want to know who you are.
Well, like I said, I kind of feel like there's even people that aren't super, super famous, but are like internet famous or social media famous.
Yeah, and they're more famous than some of these people.
And some of them are more famous, at least with certain demographics.
Yeah. Well, the demographics that matter to that fucking person, to that fucking star. But what I'm saying is saying if you try to be an old-fashioned star, like from the 90s or the 2000s or the 70s, it's not going to work in the era of the social media. It won't work. You've got to get on social media. People have to know who you are, or they're not really going to care about you.
I do kind of feel like people are maybe more responsive nowadays to authenticity, or at least the appearance of authenticity. You can't just be... Because I feel like back in the old days, people really liked all these like movie stars and stuff like that because they were like unattainable. They were almost like supernatural beings.
Yeah, and that's gone.
Yeah, you didn't like see them in their regular life. You didn't see them like hanging out at the grocery store. You didn't see them like in their pajamas making fucking videos on YouTube.
Even on the screen.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So it was very easy to for them to be idealized.
Yeah, very good way of putting it. And like a good example of what you're talking about, and I mentioned it earlier, I guess about 6 months ago, Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp, he did a lot of good movies. I liked the guy. When he went through that thing with I think it was Amber Heard was the name, his big divorce with the wife, he tried to do his first fucking like social media fucking campaign where he went out, hey people, I just wanted to tell you. And anyway, the way he came across on social media was so awkward and so unnatural that he came off as like, I felt sorry for him.
Well, he's not used to it. He's not used to having to interact with
just be normal.
With just like the hoi polloi.
No. Which I kind of felt bad for him because he came across as a very outdated. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Like I mean, he tried at least.
Yeah, he needs to relax. He needs to stop playing Johnny Depp. The character, and be your fucking self.
Well, people would probably like him.
They'd like him a lot better.
Maybe, unless he's a giant gaping anus.
He seemed very artificial, like he was on a talk show. Just knock that off, man. Fucking just talk. You know? Which it takes, I guess, maybe it takes time, because he has a theatrical background, so he's always on stage, and he's doing what they told him.
Well, people, and the thing about actors in particular, you don't see that so much with musicians, but actors, I mean, their whole job is pretending to be other people. Yeah. So it's harder for them to just come across as real because they're always used to like putting on a different face. So I can see that. I
think that's why Gina kicked so much ass when she just went right to fucking social media to fucking save her image, because she's not an actress. She was a fighter, and she got in there and she was just a normal person and fucking went to go meet YouTubers that had fucking 100,000 views. She'd show up fucking to the restaurants with them and just talk. You know what I mean? And that got her fucking shit back on the Mandalorian, and her show Rangers of the New Republic evidently is going to come out.
Thank you, Victor.
And it's because
he gave me some money because I said hoi polloi.
Hoi polloi. Yeah. It's because the celebrity of the future will be a real person who is very adept and people like them, and everybody knows who they are from their social media profile. The old version of celebrity's gone.
Can I say that one of my favorite YouTube videos that I've watched in the past week, I think I mentioned her on Wednesday. I'm subscribed to this channel. She's called Jade the Libra, and she's really into like Halloween and like spooky shit. She does like scary books and stuff. And she's gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. She's from Kansas. She lives in Kansas, I think, with her husband. And she does videos where she decorates her house for Halloween and shit like that. And the other day, she had done a video, I think it's probably like a few months old, where she did, like, she cleaned out her entire bathroom, like all the makeup and stuff, because I think for a long time she worked in like makeup, so she had like a bunch of shit, and she cleaned it out, and she showed herself like cleaning her shower and just all this other stuff, and it's just kind of like, it's so funny that people would watch that nowadays, but it's like I really liked that because she's like this beautiful like model looking girl, and she's just not afraid to like show herself with no makeup on, with crappy clothes on, cleaning her disgusting ass shower. And I was just kind of like, that made me so happy, because I'm like, hey, my shower's gross too, and I like hardly ever clean it. And it's like, so it made me feel a lot better about myself, because I was good. Because her shower was dirtier than mine, and I was just like, yes. But I think that's kind of, people respond to that because, you know, yes, they might look, she looks amazing and everything like that, but she's still like a person, and you're just seeing her do regular person shit like you do.
Yeah, there's some people out there upset, saying she's not back on. Yes, she is. She's back on. Trust me. Rangers of the New Republic's coming back too. She's going to be in that. Get mad if you want to, but no, it's back on.
What are you doing, Poke?
What's up, Poke?
Tammy said, so the new celebrities will be Jenny and Tom.
Nah.
Yeah. I've seriously, one time when we were at that horror convention, and I was on a panel about something, and I had somebody in the audience like come up to me and say that they watched our show. But that's like, I think that's the only time I've been out in public and like somebody, man, your wig like went way back.
Yeah.
Like you got all kind of forehead showing. Thorn says, I love Jade the Laborer. I do too. Like some days, I don't know, man. I'll just like watch like a fucking hour-long video of her decorating her house for Halloween, or like walking around Michael's like looking for Halloween decorations. I don't know. She's so fucking cute, and she's so funny. And it's just, I don't know why. Like I said, I watched a whole like hour-long video of her cleaning her bathroom. But, you know, that's just what people, it's 2021, and that's what people do nowadays. We watch beautiful people clean their disgusting showers on YouTube. That's all right, though. Like I said, it's, you know, you just get to see like people doing the same shit that you do. Like everybody's the same. I don't necessarily like the kind of mystique that people used to have. Like they almost like were superhuman, or like, I don't know. I don't think that's a really healthy attitude to have. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Camp Guy said, I used to watch Joe Rogan on Fear Factor just to see what they had to eat. I started watching that, and it's like, I couldn't really, I'm not grossed out by a lot of stuff, but I am absolutely grossed out by people eating gross shit. I think one time I saw a Fear Factor where someone had to eat, was it a banana slug? Although I was like, what? Man, leave that slug alone. Don't do that.
No, they eat all kinds of stuff, though. Is the show over?
And that kind of like made me really sick.
Is Raëlians over?
Well, I'm trying to like think of, yeah, I talked about them giving out the condoms. They got in trouble for that. That was 1992. And then I kind of talked about like the difference between cults and religions, and whether, I did forget to mention that the Raëlians actually, their calendar, they started counting from the bombs dropping on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So much in line with a lot of like UFO religions, they kind of, it's kind of like a sci-fi type of thing where they kind of, it's all tied up with, you know, with post-World War II nuclear kind of stuff. So I think I forgot to mention that. It's not like a huge deal, but that's like where their calendar starts from there. And also, I was going to say that Raël said that he got chosen for being a prophet or whatever because he was born a year after the atomic bomb. That's why. Yeah. So, and I had some notes about, because they were talking about like other UFO cults, obviously, like Heaven's Gate, which we already did a show about. There was one in the 50s called the Aetherius Society, which is a similar kind of thing. But another thing, too, that I wanted to say that I think one of the... I mentioned that the Raëlians didn't really seem to have any really terrible, you know, kind of shit against them. Like, no one's telling everybody, like, you know, like I said, it's not like Scientology where it's like, oh, they threw somebody in a hole or somebody disappeared or somebody like committed suicide, quote unquote, except not. So it's nothing like that. I think the worst thing that I found about them was that a lot of people, like later on, accused Raël of plagiarism, which is pretty mild as cults go, of basically like ripping off a lot of his stuff from like different books, mostly by a dude named I think his name is Jean Sendy, I think is his name. And so all the stuff about like, the world should be run by geniuses and all that kind of stuff, that came from that dude's book. But so that's like the worst thing I heard about him pretty much was that, other than, now I did see, I don't think this was on the Wikipedia page, but I did remember somebody saying that his first wife, he's had 3 of them, not at the same time, that his first wife, I think he married her when she was 16, which, creepy. I don't know how old he was. I don't think he was that much older, but it's still kind of creepy. But that was pretty much the worst kind of sexual shit that I heard about. But other than that, like all of his, people have said that most of his major ideas, like he just ripped them off from other places, or just like large portions of his books were taken from other people's books, particularly like UFO type of writings from the 50s and 60s, which not good, but if that's like the worst shit then people can come up with against him, not really all that worried about it. Also, honestly, in a way they've done a lot of good, because they had like this really big program that they started in Africa and other parts of the world where they were campaigning like pretty vociferously against female genital mutilation. And they were trying to like do a big campaign against that. And they were trying to like, help people that had had it done to them, and, giving them, surgeries free of charge and stuff like that. So it did seem like they were doing some kind of good. So like I said, a lot of their beliefs are not all that nefarious as far as that type of thing goes. As I said, in a way, you could call them creationists, because as pro-science as they are, they don't really believe in evolution in the sense that a scientist would believe in evolution, because they believe that aliens genetically programmed us the way that we are now. So they don't believe that that humans evolved, evolved from a common ancestor with apes. They don't believe that. They believe that humans were genetically engineered and then put here by aliens. So they're creationists in that way, but like I said, they're not, which, I have a thing about creationists, but they're not creationists in the same way that like that Christians would be creationists, in the sense that they just think, well, I don't know, it is kind of the same though, isn't it? Because they're just kind of, creationists say, oh, well, God created humans, and they're saying aliens created humans, so it's really not that much different. But at least they're not trying to get it taught in schools, at least as far as I know. I think the fucking creationists maybe gave up on that. I read a bunch of books because I feel like it was probably like the 90s or early 2000s, there was like this big thing where, at least in the US, but in the Midwest and the South, creationists were trying to get intelligent design taught in science classes because they were saying it was scientific and everything like that. Because I remember like reading a bunch of shit about that at that time, and those, I don't know, for some reason those people just like kind of piss me off. But I don't know, it's when you're saying it's aliens, for some reason it doesn't piss me off as much, I guess because it sounds kind of goofier, and they're not, maybe because we're not in any danger of anybody taking that seriously. I don't know. I guess that's why it is, but it doesn't offend me as much. Although the more I think about it, it's like not really any different than kind of denying, which, like I said, that's really ironic, because they are very pro-science in a lot of ways. They're pro-technology. I don't know if they're necessarily pro-scientific method, but they seem like pro-technology. Anything that would help humans' lives improve, anything that would make humans like live longer. That's one of the big reasons that they're super into genetic engineering and stuff like that, because they want humans to be able to live as long as possible. And they think that the only way to do that is through cloning, like growing body parts, all this kind of stuff.
It's just getting too hot. I can't take it, Jimmy. I can't take it. I can't.
God damn.
I can't take it.
I wear those like all night at the club, dancing and everything.
Can't
and
take
it's like you don't see me whipping that shit off.
Put my fucking cap.
Man, dudes can't put up with anything.
It was getting in my fucking face too, man.
Yeah, I know. Why don't you wear a wig and a corset and high-heeled shoes and see how long you last with that? Yeah, Gramthars Hammer says creationists believe the world is 6,000 years old. Old Earth creationists and young Earth creationists are different. Young Earth creationists absolutely do believe the world is 6,000 years old, like literally. Old Earth creationists are willing to say that the 6 days or whatever in the Bible actually referred to like millions of years. So they're kind of willing to give like the timeline. You know, they're willing to go that far, but they still think that God did it and that dinosaurs aren't real and stuff. But because I was talking about how the Raëlians are kind of creationists, just in a slightly different way than the Christians, because they actually don't believe that humans evolved from, you know, a common ancestor with apes. They actually think that aliens genetically engineered us and put us here. So, which in a sense is the same thing as creationists are saying, because they're saying God poofed us here and we didn't come from no monkeys, blah blah blah. You know how creationists do. But like I said, for some reason it doesn't piss me off as much when it's aliens. I don't know. I guess because it just seems not as serious. I don't know. I don't know why it doesn't make me as bad, but I don't know. So yeah, I don't honestly, like I said, we kind of covered most of the shit about this. We're like 3 hours in. What do you want to talk about now?
No, I guess that's it.
Where have you been?
What do you mean, where have I been?
Oh, you were gone a long time.
Yeah, I made a drink and I went to the restroom.
Oh. Where did Pookie go?
She's right there.
Is she really?
Yeah.
Where are you, Poke?
So that's it. That was the Raëlian show. The railing on the aliens.
Railing on the aliens.
Kind of interesting, I guess. I mean, fucking, we should have had some pictures.
Well, you know, somebody
some
said
pictures,
that, but it's just
fucking-
kind of like, I don't know. It's just kind of like, I don't know. We
like
used to
to
do
see.
that, but I kind of feel like because the show, before we did video, it used to be all pictures. So I kind of have like bad associations with like having to look for like millions of pictures of things. You know what I mean? So it's, sometimes I don't really like think about it because I'm just kind of like, man, fuck it.
I imagine there were some fucking badass pictures we could have shown, though.
There's really
Probably
not. You know what? There's not a huge amount of information. There's a lot of information about them because they seem pretty transparent about their beliefs and stuff. They don't seem super secretive. And so they put all their shit pretty much right out there. There's not like a ton of pictures, though. You know, there's some pictures of him like in his little outfit. You know, there's some pictures of like some, you know, hot girls, and there's like some stuff about the nudity and whatnot, because, you know, nudity and aliens, everybody's going to want to like hear about that shit. But like I said, I kind of feel like their big heyday came in the early 2000s when they said, hey, we cloned a baby. And that was kind of when everybody heard about him, and it was like, yeah, bullshit. Like I said, maybe they did, I don't know. But they couldn't prove it, so no one bought it, you know. I'm not saying that it didn't happen. It probably didn't. But could they? And honestly, that was 2002. I'd be surprised if someone hadn't cloned a human by this time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that was like such a long time ago. And even back then, I was kind of like, man, well, maybe.
They're probably cloning them in China.
Maybe they did.
Yeah.
What if you could clone a baby? If you could genetically engineer a baby, what would you give it? What aspect would you give
I would make it an Abu. You know about Abu, right?
What the fuck?
All right. In the Army.
Oh, he's thought about this.
Okay, yeah, in
Clearly.
the Army, they used to have companies like Alpha Company, I Company, Beast Company, C Company. Some of the units are so big that they ended with I. All right, and usually these little fucking companies would try to make a mascot. All right, and they had this crazy motherfucker in the 82nd Airborne Division. He was trying to come up, and he's the fucking first sergeant. He's trying to come up with a mascot that began with an I. And the only thing he's from Louisiana, you know, the only thing he could come up with is ibis. But he sees an ibis, he's like, man, fuck that, that's fucking weak. So he had to come up with his own creature. It was the IBU. Okay? It was fucking I Company Best Unit, IBU. It was a gorilla with an alligator tail, a lion's head, moose horns, and a parachute, and a pistol, and a fucking jump boots, and a dagger.
Do you know when you said IBU, the first thing I thought of was International Butt Umbrella.
Yeah, okay. Well,
which would be a whole different thing.
Later on, that fucking company, that company got fucking picked up and transferred for the 101st, and they made it an A company or Alpha company. So he changed it to Abu, and I was in that company for a while, Abu company.
So
you guys can Google it.
So ass butt umbrella.
No, Alpha Company Best Unit. And if you guys Google better. ABU Monster, Abu Monster. All right, just Google fucking images, you'll see it. That's an Abu Monster. So what you do is you take a gorilla and you splice it with an alligator and a lion.
And you're
going to
raise this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, train it to be a paratrooper. It's got a parachute on it.
Oh, it has a natural parachute?
Yeah, well, when you see it, it's drawn with a parachute on it and a fucking pistol and a fucking dagger.
Oh.
And, yeah, it's got both.
Wow, that's pretty good.
If you ever saw the movie Jacob's Ladder, there's a scene where some Vietnam veteran is shooting up in a bathroom and they show his arm and he's got tattooed on his arm an Abu Monster.
Oh, shit, I never noticed that.
Yeah, it's an Abu Monster. He was from my company.
Oh my god, that's fine.
Then I ended up in a recon platoon after that. But fucking yeah, so that's a
So if you could genetically engineer a baby,
it would be an Abu.
You would make a gorilla with an alligator tail that came equipped with a parachute and a pistol
and a fucking dagger
and a dagger.
And it has to have a
lion's head
and
a lion's head. I forgot about
with
that.
moose horns.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, has all the features of all the most badass fucking creatures all combined.
No wings?
It doesn't need them because it has a parachute. It's got jump boots on better, too.
Though. Oh,
I'm going to fucking show this shit, man. I'm going to show it. It's got jump boots too. Okay.
I can't believe you thought so much about this.
Well, you asked me what I would make. I'd make an Abu Monster. Abu Monster.
Like I said, so... so I'm going for like practicalities here. Yeah. When the Abu Monster is a baby, what does he eat?
I don't know.
What do we feed the? Well, we need to figure this out if we're gonna raise the Abu Monster to Abu Monster.
There's an Abu Monster.
Oh yeah. Oh my god, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
There's an Abu Monster.
Oh well, that's a much more badass looking.
There you go.
Get a good picture of one.
There's the Abu Monster. Okay.
This is Tom's child. This is Tom's dream child.
It's an Abu.
That's it.
It's an Abu Monster.
And look, he killed somebody
he's
too.
He's from the 101st. Yeah. So he's got his 101st. He's got jump boots. First 327 Infantry. It's an Abu Monster. You see, you guys know about that special forces and all this other shit, but you don't know about that. Okay.
We're gonna talk about that on the Cryptid show.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have to put that in the poll
and
for
then
next week.
At times, the Abu Monster looked like that. It's got a parachute and everything.
He looks like he's a little rough around the edges there. He's like, man, I'm so fucking tired. I've been Abu Monstering all day. And it's just like, I really can't deal with it anymore. I didn't need a nap. I can't believe he doesn't have wings, though. He needs wings.
He's got a parachute.
Does he have a kung fu grip?
No. He can't even masturbate.
How would you know that?
Because he's got no grip.
Oh my God.
See, look at... Hold on.
What do you say? Don't show it to me. Show it to them.
Hold on, I'm going to show you.
I'll see it. Well, I'll see it when you put it up there. That's how video works.
That's when they fancied him up. Hold on, wait a second.
Oh wait, he's got a suit on?
No, hold on.
You fucked it up. You fucked it up.
That shitty ass drawing in the back of those graphics.
That is clearly like some people just took like some fucking clip art and just stuck it all together without really thinking about how it was gonna look.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Well, see, okay, I gotta write this down because we need to make an Abu monster.
Yeah.
13 o'clock design. Because I could do a way better one than that.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Come on, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's a cryptid fucking... There's a cryptid for you right there.
I'm going to write that down. So one of these days I'll get around to doing that.
And then
I'm going to put your face on it, except with a lion's mane.
And then you wonder why I smell the way I smell. Yeah, I'll show you that picture. That's what you're doing.
I don't wonder.
Okay.
Phil says you're going to make me pee again.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I might pee too, actually, now that I'm thinking about it.
Phil
What do you
says
like
this
use
is
my-
so funny. I'm laughing so hard. Who's going to nurse this creature? It's fucking-
Right. He said he doesn't think about that. He only thinks about ideas. He doesn't like think about the practicalities of the ideas. Like who the hell is going to have to like, who the fuck is going to raise this kid?
Yeah.
Is this kid going to eat everyone else in kindergarten? Like what is going to be the issue? You know what I'm saying?
You nurse him on
blood.
No, on pure C4 explosive that you fucking get out, get it out of fucking damn 88 millimeter mortar. And you fucking like that. And you put you unscrew the fuse off the impact fuse of that 88 millimeter, and you put a fucking nipple from a beaky bottle, from a bottle. And you put that on the end of there, and you like that, and he'll sit there and he'll drink all that C4 and get big. He'll grow to adulthood in a week.
Well, that's handy.
Yeah.
You've really thought a lot about that.
And he's speaking a Louisiana accent.
Okay, that's cool.
You didn't know that either, huh? His father was from Louisiana.
So he'll only be around for a week and then he'll be out on his own.
Oh yeah, only be around for a week and then he's on his own. Like the Jim Hadar from fucking Star Trek, Deep Space Nine. They grow up fast. They don't need intelligence or experience. It's just pure instinct.
That makes sense.
Yeah, pure instinct.
Oh my god. How funny would that be if I did like an Abu monster with your face on it?
It's got to have a lion's head on it, though.
Well, no, we can have a lion's mane,
Okay.
but I could still kind of make
You
it
can
look
put my
like you. I could still kind of make it look like you. That would be, well, it'd be way funnier than just like a generic
It's got
lion
to have
face.
pants on and fucking jump boots.
Yeah.
And a parachute. Okay.
You gotta respect a monster that wears pants
Yeah, it's got pants.
and shoes.
Yeah.
He's the polite monster. Well, I don't want to like upset anybody with all of this stuff that like sticking out. You know what I mean?
All right, we're going to shut it down.
You sure? Yeah. It's kind of like, well, yeah, we've been on for like
Been on forever.
3 hours. It's not forever. It's like 3 hours and 15 minutes. Calm down.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't even drink. I only got my second drink,
This
but
is
like that's the last of the booze.
Yeah. I think that's
Man, we might have to like go out tomorrow and get booze. I don't know. We don't have any more in the house.
Could always go out tonight. Could always go to Mannequins. What time is it?
9.
9 o'clock.
Tonight's the bloodbath. I don't know if they're continuing it tomorrow because tonight's Graham's birthday. You know Graham.
Yeah.
It's the bloodbath for his birthday tonight. I don't know, man. I'm so fucking sleepy.
Well, if you're sleepy, then we shouldn't go.
I mean, like I said, I've been up since 5:45.
All right.
Why did I wake up at 5:45? I don't fucking know, but I did. And I tried to get back to sleep and I couldn't. So I've been up since then. And it's like, as soon as the show started, I thought I was going to like, because my eyes were going like that. But
Somebody goes, what is Bloodbath?
It's
an event at Mannequins.
Yeah, they do. Well, they did it. They do it at like lots of different like goth industrial clubs. It's basically you just come there like covered with blood, like
Yeah.
like
They're
Carrie,
used to wearing white and stuff with a bunch of blood.
like
speckles
Carrie
on
at the
them.
end of Carrie,
Yeah.
like somebody dumped blood
Fake
on
blood.
you. Yeah, I went to one several years ago at Mitternacht
Yeah.
when that was at iBar. I didn't put any that much blood on, but it's like by the end of the night, like so many people hugged me and stuff. I was just like, I was so fucking sticky. Everything
Yeah.
was sticky and dyed red. It was fun though. But yeah, so they're doing that tonight. That was Graham's request for his birthday. He wanted to do Bloodbath. I did the poster for it. The poster came out nice.
Yeah.
I will say that.
Yeah, but they're on their mat to fucking Garcia and who was that?
What?
It was trying to think who it was.
I don't know.
Who was talking about
Man, he's like,
Mango,
wait.
it was Mango Badger, I think, or was it Mango Badger? No, I can't remember who it was. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Never mind.
No, they want to get mad. They want to get mad about Gina. Gina's coming back. all the cards lined up because in the upper management. And I fucking got good contacts in Disney. You know where we live. Yeah, and Rangers of the New Republic's fucking coming back too. Yeah, she's back. You going cry all you want, but that's how that shit really rolls. They go for money. They only care about money. They don't care about you. They care about money. All right. They also don't care about right and wrong, or what you think right and wrong is. You're told what's right and wrong anyway. You think you've compiled it out of your own opinions. But they control what opinions you have and the data that you have. They don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck. It's all about money. But now she's coming back. I love that woman. Jenny loves that woman too.
She's alright.
She can fucking kick, man. She's cool. She's cool. She's very cool.
Yeah, I mean...
You ever saying, well, she said this and that? She didn't fucking say anything. You can twist anything to make anything and read into anything. She doesn't give a shit about that. Nobody else cared either. It's all culture war. And really, culture wars don't end until fucking one side is dead. So we're just going to see what's going to happen. This shit's going to go bad. It's going to go down. And I don't really have a dog in the fight. I give a fuck. I could leave here. I fought for this country once. I will never fight for this shit again. I don't care. I fight for my people now. Her, my family, and my friends. And I don't care about anything else.
What about Pookie?
And Pookie. I'm gonna let you all motherfuckers kill each other over stupid shit.
No one's good.
And then I'm gonna collect all your shit after you're dead. It's gonna all be mine. I'm gonna say, oh, okay, yeah, that's mine, that's mine, that's mine, that's mine. Because I got to the point where I don't believe in anything.
Well, it'll be really easy because you've made all those clones of yourself that are going to take over the whole earth. And they're going to
impregnate all the damn survivors anyway. So everybody's going to be my child.
And then there'll be peace on Earth. And then the aliens will come.
It'll be piece of ass on Earth.
It came all the way back.
It will be piece of ass on Earth. Everywhere.
Oracle said, what about Beijing? Yeah, Beijing too.
Yeah, Beijing too.
I know, I feel bad because... Well, she's like older, and like I said, she's kind of like aloof.
Yeah.
So it's like we try to be nice to her, but she's just like, "Fuck off! I don't like you." Sometimes it's much easier to be like, "Oh, Pookie," because she's always like in your face. You know what I mean? Keep ordering supplies.
And Victor's going on. I'll remind you every month when she's not back. Well, it's going to be a while because they got to do a bunch of filming. But she's been down there, dude. She's been down there. At the studio. Don't worry. Okay. That's all I'm going to say.
No one's worried.
Yeah. She's been down there.
Wait, somebody said, Gramthars Hammer said, if someone went to mannequins covered in real human blood, would anyone know? Probably not. I probably shouldn't tell people that. But I don't know. I was kind of thinking about it because I was like, oh, I feel bad, like, not going, but... If I had slept later this morning, I would probably be up for going, but I'm so fucking sleepy that it's like, I don't think that I could. I mean, I haven't even really drank that much, but... So I'm not drunk, but I'm just so fucking sleepy that I don't know if I could, like...
Okay, Filbert coming in trying to stir up the pot again. Okay, so this creature that Tom is making, can it have sex? Of course the Abu monster can have sex.
Well, Tom wouldn't make a creature that was
This thing
asexual.
is fucking hung like a fire extinguisher.
Of course. Tom's making this. You remember who you think you're talking about here?
Weaponized fucking penis. Weaponized penis. I'm going to have Zach in.
Does it have spikes on it?
I'm going to hire in Zach as a professional consultant to help me fucking genetically design just the penis alone. I'm going to have gay input. I'm going to have this about the shape and gay input. Yeah. Zach's going to tell me how it should be shaped.
That's another good band name.
Yeah.
Hi, we're Gay Input.
Gay Input.
That's like the third good band name I've come up with tonight.
You just gotta let this shit bullshit flow out of your mouth. No, the Abu monster is fucking. It's gendered. It is male. Yes.
It smells like you.
Look, man, fucking, it's even worse because
worse than you?
Worse.
Oh,
because it's a gorilla. All right, it's the base creature is a gorilla, and every time I've fucking seen like an accurate drawing of the Abu monster, it's obvious to me that gorilla's roided out. All right, so he's gonna fucking stink. You know he's gonna fucking stink. He's gonna fucking like super testosterone. He's fucking coming out. It's gorilla steroids. It's the steroids that you use on a gorilla.
But will he have a wig?
He doesn't need a wig because you make me think about this shit. He doesn't need one because he has a lion's mane. He's got his own natural wig.
How about a hat? Can he have a hat?
Yeah, he can have a hat. It's a military style hat, but he's usually not.
How about a Viking helmet?
No, because he already has horns.
Okay.
He's got moose antlers. You didn't notice that?
Oh yeah,
it's a lion. It's a fucking. Check this out. Y'all are civilians and you can't grasp greatness when you see it.
That must be what the problem is.
It takes a while for it to all sink in. When you have that much badass.
Phil says, "Can you make a gay one?" Yeah, you can make a gay one.
Yeah, you could. It's don't ask, don't tell policy. Yeah, you know what I mean? You don't know what it doesn't really matter. It's not really its sexual orientation is unclear, okay? With all the drama. But when you see an Abu monster, it's a gorilla, and that gorilla is on steroids. It's got a fucking alligator tail. It's wearing jump boots and a fucking parachute. It's got a fucking lion's head with moose antlers, and it's carrying a pistol and a dagger. And it's not just any old dagger, it's a fucking bayonet. It's got moose antlers. Okay?
It's got moose
antlers. Regular horns are not good enough.
I'm just mad because he doesn't have wings, that's all.
It's got a parachute.
But that's not really
wings.
the same thing, is it?
Right.
That's not really
It doesn't need to fly. It's got a C-130 or a C-5 Galaxy that it jumps out of.
It has an invisible plane like Wonder Woman.
No, it's got a military plane. The Army flies it wherever it needs to be. It just jumps out. It doesn't need wings. It's got a lot better. It's got a fucking plane. It's got either got a C-130
We
or
could do a
C-5
whole show just about this monster.
This was thought up a long time ago by men more crazy than I. One man crazier than I. It was the first sergeant from Louisiana. Came up with that shit. His name is fucking written down there. I forgot what his name was. They said he was fucking crazy, And it stuck. That. He came up with that shit because there wasn't anything cool that started with an I. And then that unit got sent to the 101st and became an A company. So he just changed it from Ibu to Abu because there wasn't anything that started with an A that was good either. He was gonna call it like ASP, but then like ASP.
But everyone thought he was saying
that sounds too much like ass.
Yeah.
So
the ass monster, that's a totally different
thing. So it just
thing.
became Alpha Company Best Unit, ABU, Abu monster. He just made up his own creature, Abu, or Ibu.
But even that sounds pretty lame, I gotta say.
He was drinking. I just
cut the dude some slack.
Yeah. I just find it funny that y'all are fucking mystified by this because we would have talked about this in the Army for like 2 minutes and then moved on. Because it would be like, oh, yeah. We just would have taken it, accepted it as a fact.
Well, yeah, but...
Dudes have that tattooed on them. And that shit showed up in Jacob's Ladder.
I know. Yeah, you said that already.
Yeah.
Well, no, just like, when somebody comes up with a concept like that, I like to unpack that a little bit. I like to delve a little bit deeper into that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Make you think about the parameters of what we're talking about.
It was just something that they had, and that outside the company area they'd fucking have that painted on a wall, kind of like the paintings of the colored one, like stuff like that. Not the lame one.
Not
that lame one. We wouldn't have allowed that back in my day.
I mean, that was pretty lame.
Yeah.
That was, like I said, that was like, hey, we found
just some dude with
cheap ass clip art, and we just fucking slapped a lion head on it.
Yeah.
Okay, so how awesome would it be if somebody, like some budding Michelangelo out there, did a whole ceiling with the Abu monster, on the ceiling, but he did it all Renaissance style? Yeah. I can picture it. That would be awesome, right?
Yeah.
I would think. You know how big his bed would have to be? See, we're thinking of all the practicalities. Because the whole reason you came up with that was because I asked you if you could genetically engineer a child What would you come up with? And that was what you came up with, and that's why everyone's asking you questions about it, because, like, if you were raising it...
Filbert's asking, does it use a toilet? Does it wipe its ass?
Does it need a diaper?
No. It fucking shits in the woods just like a regular soldier. And
like a bear.
It wipes its ass with MRE fucking toilet paper. Yeah.
Mr. Roboto said, did Jenny get a haircut? Yeah, I did. Yeah. Well, I did it. I had this part shaved back here, like I had a mohawk. But I still had this hair, like, here in the front. And then, like, last night I was like, fuck it, I'm not really doing anything with this. So I shaved it all off, and I shaved off all underneath here, too. So actually, I still have the top of my hair. It's not a wig. This is my actual hair. So all of this is shaved, like, in the back. It's much, much cooler because it's Florida. I had it like this, like, a long time ago.
Yeah. And
then it took, like, a couple years, and it grew all back out. But then last night I was like, fuck it, I'm just, like, sick of so much hair.
They're saying I'm getting all Thulsa Doom. I don't know how I'm getting all Thulsa Doom, but...
Does its poop stick to its fur? Probably. Because I have to say, poor Beijing. Pookie does not have this problem, because Pookie has short hair. Beijing is a rag doll, and so she has really long hair, and she has especially long hair right around her butt. So sometimes, when she goes to use the facilities, little poop sticks on her fur. And then she kind of carries it out, and sometimes we find little...
Shit falls on the fucking
little
ground.
turd, yeah. Like, on the floor. She doesn't mean to, because she thinks that she squats down in the thing and poops, and then, like, but no, it's really, like, still attached to the fur. And it's
got the litter box in the
laundry room.
In the laundry room, so it's tile, so it always lands on the tile anyway.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever found it on the carpet. No, it usually doesn't get that far, because usually I'll go in there to do the laundry and I'll be like, oh.
Be like a couple feet from the cat box.
There's like a little turd.
Yeah.
She doesn't mean to.
One time she was taking a dump in the middle of a thunderstorm, and when the lightning hit, she jumped out of the cat box and turd fucking fell on the floor.
Well, that was Pookie.
Yeah, it was Pookie. Pookie. Yeah, not Beijing, but Pookie.
Yeah. That was the only time that Pookie pooped somewhere that she missed the cat box. Yeah. She was a little. She was like a kitten.
Yeah, the lightning bolt got her.
Yeah, she was in there like doing it, and she was like, ah! She jumped out and like
little turd went flying.
She pooped on the floor. I felt so bad for her.
And she's looking out. What is going on?
Oh my god, she was so little. I think she was only like 6 or 8 weeks old at that point.
Real baby.
Yeah, she was a baby. So it's like, I felt so bad. I said, man, I hope she's not like traumatized about using it fucking. She forgot about that shit. She did. Yeah. I thought she didn't want her to be traumatized about using it like fucking. Aw, but yeah, so like I said, Beijing sometimes poops outside, but she doesn't need to. It just like sticks to her butt fur, and she doesn't realize that it's back there, and then it kind of like falls off a couple feet.
What size waist? Or will you have to have its clothes made? I don't know who he's talking about. Must be talking about the Abu monster.
Oh yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
Well, he only had pants, right?
He just had pants. Yeah, he didn't wear a shirt. He just wears a fucking parachute.
Well, why does he even need pants? Because he has fur.
He's got to wear a uniform. Okay, you have to know that he's in the army.
Oh, okay.
He's got jump boots on too. So he's a paratrooper. Yeah.
I still kind of feel like he probably have to have his clothes tailored. I'm just saying.
His waist is about like 26. It's real fucking small, but his upper body's fucking huge. It's fucking huge. He's gorilla proportions. But roided out gorilla. Like, you couldn't get a shirt for him. No.
So can he talk, or does he do sign language?
They can't talk.
Like Coco.
They can't talk. They didn't do sign language. They just shoot people. Yeah.
He doesn't give a shit what you're saying. He's just going to shoot you.
No, they don't talk. Make a horror movie about that. Motherfuckers getting killed by a strange monster. They don't know what it is. Somewhere in Europe.
Seriously, though, look it up, and probably somebody's already made one.
Nah, nobody knows what Abu is.
You sure?
Yeah, only paratroopers know what Abu is.
Yeah, but those people know that have friends and family members that might make a horror movie too.
The only time I ever saw it portrayed in a movie was in Jacob's Ladder. Guy had a tattoo of an Abu. It was a good tattoo of an Abu monster too. Might be able to find it. I don't know. I don't know if anybody's put a picture of that up on the internet. But
internet has everything.
Yeah. But no, what you do is you make a horror movie about some dudes up in Europe getting killed by some monster. They don't know what it is. And it turns out it was an Abu left over from fucking World War II. And they're fighting it kind of like it's Krampus. And it does fucking shit. It does all kinds of cool shit. And you have to explain why it's been
Can we
dormant.
please put that on the poster? We'll call it Abu Monster. It does shit.
Yeah, Abu Monster.
That'll be the tagline.
It does shit. You have to have like southern inflection on it. Abu Monster. It does shit. That's like says it all, you know what I mean? I could make a fucking movie that would appeal to 12-year-old boys across the fucking galaxy. Across the whole fucking galaxy. It would just be nothing but badassery through the whole thing. It's just ludicrous badassery.
Ludicrous
badassery.
I kind of feel like that will be written on your tombstone.
You could set the whole thing back in World War II. That it was a World War II fucking secret weapon.
That might be even better, actually, now that you mention it.
Yeah. And it was fighting people. It was fighting Germans and fighting the Nazis or something. No, that's too typical. Everybody's fighting the Nazis.
It's like that's been done lots of
times. You have it fighting the Italians or you have it fighting the Japanese. Something like that.
Can we have Abu Monster versus like Godzilla?
You could fucking work. Well, you could have something where it's.
Could he get big like Big Man Japan?
Yeah, you might be able to do something like that. Like the Japanese have a response to it. All right. It's like a fucking large turtle or something.
We'll call Gamera.
Yeah,
He'll take care of this problem.
Like a large turtle or something.
Call Gamera like a gaggle of Kennys.
Yeah. Yeah, little Kenny's running out yelling at
with their tiny shorts. Mm-hmm. They'll all be riding on Gamera's
little
back.
Sexualized Japanese boys. Yeah.
I like this movie. Somebody needs to get on the screenplay like too sweet.
You have to have that shit set into fucking into a realistic setting. Actually, I think Abu might have started sometime in the Vietnam era. So you'd probably have to put it in Vietnam. Probably make more sense.
I feel like there's not a lot of horror movies
about Vietnam
in the Vietnam, which would probably be like a fucked up thing to do. But I mean, honestly, there's a lot of horror movies like set in World War II.
Well, you see, there's there's something you could do here, all right, where you wouldn't even have you wouldn't even. I'm saying this shit in public, see, and I shouldn't be talking about it because somebody will steal the idea.
Well, it's not. Well, you're not gonna do it, so
that's true. Go ahead and make this shit. I want to see it. There's an Abu Monster, secret weapon Abu Monster in Vietnam, and it starts fucking up the fucking Viet Cong so bad that the NVA fucking goes to their allies, the DPRK, in other words, North Korea, and asks them for help. And North Korea has a fucking secret weapon as a response. It's a fucking ancient creature that they've kept in storage since the Middle Ages, since the North Korean Middle Ages. It's called Pugasari.
Ooh, Pugasari versus the Abu Monster.
Yeah, Pugasari is the North Korean Godzilla.
They actually did make that movie.
Yeah, and he starts off small, see, and he grows with the more metal that he eats.
Yeah.
So there's a time in which the Pugasario, they call him Pugasario and fucking the Abu Monster will be about the same size, see.
And during that time period,
they fight. Okay. See, the Abu Monster has to get a fucking hold of him before he gets too big. See, that's the fucking yeah. So then there's like. Yeah, you don't want it to get too big. So then there's like a sexual thing about who's bigger than who. So they have like a dick off and shit. Whose dick is bigger or whatever. I don't know. We'll come up with something that's just fucking crazy. Like it'll be like Tusk. It'll be that level of crazy. It's like Tusk in Vietnam, but with monsters.
There's your elevator pitch right there.
Yeah. See, let me make these fucking movies, man. You're paying the wrong people for this shit.
I know, and now Tom's just like sitting back going, "You're welcome." Yeah. That was a free idea.
Gave that shit for free. Watch them fucking take that shit and they make millions of dollars on it. It rivals Joker at the box office. And it's an indie flick. They keep all the money. Motherfuckers. And they don't give me anything.
Well, you should probably write it down and like mail it to yourself or something, so you can like. So if you have to sue them, you can prove that you came up with the idea.
No, I got the proof right here.
Although, we actually have the proof right because it's dated and everything. So see, you did it. You just copyrighted the idea. So now if anybody takes it, like you can do it, but then like maybe we'll sue you though. Like if you make the movie and keep all the money. So I say like you can make the movie, but if you make like $1 billion, just like cut us off a little chunk of change.
Pookie, stop tearing shit up.
What's she doing?
I don't know. She's trying to dig through the books.
There's nothing back there, Pookie. Narnia's not back there. It's not in the closet. It's not behind the books. It's not anywhere.
Okay,
I hate to tell you.
I'm sleepy. I'm time for you to go.
Time for you to go.
Let's go ahead and shut it down.
All right. Yeah, we've been on for like 3.5 hours. So that's okay. So I mean, we talked about the stuff most of the time. So that's fine. All right. So anyway, we will be back on Sunday afternoon. We're going to be talking about 310 to Yuma. Are we not?
Okay, okay, we'll talk about that.
Because we just watched that. So that'll be Sunday. So have a good weekend up until we see you Sunday afternoon. Thank you everybody for dropping by. Thanks for all your super chats. Thanks for all the awesome conversation. And we will see you guys on Sunday. And hey, check it out. I have an actual outro. So we'll see you guys on Sunday. Bye.